Yeah, but he's a guy, so society lets him. If you do it, you're a bitch. Rely button.
Yep.
Sarah's saying.
Hi, chat. You're all bitches if you aren't here.
But
So.
but they are here. They're the ones
You
that
are here, so you're not a bitch.
Oh,
That's
music's
true.
still on.
Well, they probably couldn't even hear me anyway, because Jake is bad at his job.
This is
The one job.
No, I was enamored with the conversation. I wanted to cut to it, and I was making a bit, but
why they don't show up here.
because I forget
because
the
you forget
music
to turn
for
the
the
music on.
first 30 seconds of every stream.
Stunning lack of professionalism.
In fact, at this point, it
This
might
hat
be a
doesn't
benefit.
wanna-
It's part of it. It's part of the ritual of starting this show. Is fucking up basic aspects of the production of it.
Pretty much.
That's fair. Yeah, no, it definitely is. It's scuffed a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's perfect in scuffed though. Speaking of scuffed, I'm gonna boop a little bit. I'm booping everybody's volume just a touch because I have to. YouTube's player isn't very loud.
Was the episode okay? The last one? Because I assume you rewatched it.
I didn't actually rewatch this one. I usually do rewatch.
Just doing fucking weird shit for me, so.
I didn't
What
get
kind of
any
weird
single
shit?
comment that said it was doing weird shit, but maybe it was.
Like, it was just like wasn't loading on my phone. It said no video found, and I'm like, what? But then the view count kept going up, and I'm like, what? So.
I mean,
And then I
check
looked. I
this
like
second.
opened it on my computer and it opened, but I didn't like watch it or anything or check anything out. So I don't know.
Did you put that in announcements or did
Yeah.
you put it in gym? Oh, that's different. That's a different place. Doink. It seemed fine. I didn't actually watch it back. Yeah, I turned it on today. It was totally fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I showed chat. Anyway, welcome to the show. This is Karumble. We save it.
Why did we say Karimble? How did
It
that
happened,
start?
and I don't know why it didn't. Why it didn't change. It just kept going. Yeah, we were going to do an ad for something, but we forgot to. But don't worry, because pretty soon you'll be inundated with the ads that we do here for
we'll have
all the subclasses that are going to be available shortly.
Don't look at me.
As they are revealed. And I put final touches on them. This is still technically being play tested. We've already made one tweak, but although it was small, but a quality of life tweak.
Hannah's already making threats if Alex doesn't.
She's starting to evict me. Like
Landlord mindset.
landlord grind set.
Oh,
Yeah, there
true,
you go.
true.
Stay humble.
How many properties you got, and what's the
Yeah,
value?
what's the value?
You know, it's just
One property.
It's the one. I'm not
A
utilizing.
depreciating value by the day. Me too.
The market's crazy right now.
It's a
Alex.
buyer's
I'm just
market.
gonna evict you and put in some rando.
That's actually the best plan possible.
Yeah.
Is to survive until my
balance.
mortgage is paid off, and then sublet it to a Republican that I'm comfortable overcharging for, and then moving to Canada.
How do you make sure that they're a Republican?
You only rent to the Republican.
You know.
How do you?
You
oh,
know.
I
What do you
guess
mean?
so.
They'll
You
show
just
up in a
fucking ask
hat.
him. Be like,
They
hey,
label
MAGA, am I
themselves.
right? Remember
That's true.
2022, brother? And he's like,
You know-
you sure? Yeah. And, hopefully at that point, he's one of the last boomers alive. And we just let him sort of die in here while we live in Canada.
You're basically renting him a casket.
In fact, and frankly, it's
spacious
already been a
casket.
casket once because there was deadly. I bought this from a widower.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah, we
assuming
had a-
she died in here, but I'm not
A
sure.
dead lady's wedding dress that we defiled in this
Wait.
house.
Looking back on this, I should have asked because I bet I could have gotten like a dead person discount. But it
Isn't
was
that the
already.
thing- Wait,
But it was
isn't the thing
already. This
where
is like a cheap house. Like it's
if
not like a
If someone dies in the house, don't you get like? Don't
Ghosts,
most places
yes.
give you?
I wish
gonna
you
like-
get ghosts.
I was
No,
gonna say,
they
I'm
give
gonna
you,
bring
like,
a
a
Ouija board to
cheaper-
Bro Night.
Do it.
I think it's a murder they do. I don't know. If they do-
Only murders?
I think it's if it's like a murder or something.
In some
similar.
states, if there are reports of hauntings, I think they have to disclose it, and then you can try and.
You have to
haggle.
disclose reports of hauntings.
We could like
If
make
you
up that
ask
we're being haunted.
in some states. If you like ask
Who maintains the
Okay, I
haunting
didn't mean
reports?
to file as I
The
didn't
previous
read the
owners?
chat.
Like the fucking city council has
Okay.
no, I think
House
it's
is
just like,
haunted.
do the previous
New
owners
idea.
remember?
New idea? Council of
It's
Hauntings?
not a robust law.
We're gonna start an LLC and we're gonna start buying properties on the cheap because they're haunted because people are stupid, and then we're gonna rent them out to people who have no other options
Okay.
because they're poor.
Wow, and then we can harvest their actual tears.
Yes.
And then we can vacation in the Bahamas.
Yep.
Ooh, especially during natural disasters.
We'll
Yeah.
just stream to you guys from the Bahamas. It's perfect.
True.
I'd live like a king in the Bahamas. So, I don't know. I feel like it's nice there. It's actually probably very expensive due to the tourism
I'm
sort
going
of
to
bubble.
assume that you have this weird tourism space where all the money is, and then everyone else is fucked. As that usually
That's why you
goes.
live in the burbs, right on the edge.
Every time you say burbs, I think I'm from the burbs by respect to the streets and all that.
I forgot to turn on the music thing, so I can't even cut to the game. I can't even hard cut into it because I didn't prep. I took a nap before. Well, I tried to. I didn't fall asleep, I don't think. And if I did, it was for like just a minute because
I wish I took a nap.
I woke up very early this morning, unable to sleep. But here we are anyway. What do I have to press to get to the music, guys? You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know the answer to this question. This is in my secret files, my secret DM files.
Yeah, you don't let me look at anything.
You're goddamn right I don't. She comes in sometimes when I'm prepping, and I just go, get the fuck up. And then she does.
He's really verbally abusive.
Yeah. Not physically, though.
I feel like that's what
Only
you're
in
into
here.
anyway. So like, don't get like, confirmation. What the fuck?
Wait, what?
You're like, but it wasn't like a real like. That's not true. Yeah,
That's true.
Okay. It was more like a ha 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 ha. Shut up! Don't say the thing out loud. That's true. Yeah, that look too. See.
There goes. Hey guys.
What's up?
D&D.
Last we left off.
We sure no charisma saves?
Yeah, well, there's that out of the bag. So, last we left off, the group had traveled to the town of Host to finish, we'll call it an arrangement you all had with the de facto leader, the figurehead of this place, Reverend Gill, who runs the sort of community hub, the Church of Nothing. A mysterious church with a mysterious god led by a very loquacious and talkative and very open, quite calm demeanored reverend with a sultry voice, apparently.
What does loquacious mean?
like someone who is very all I can think of is other synonyms that are also confusing to you.
Effervescent?
Yeah, see all of them.
I know effervescent.
No, I'm sure it's a very talkative sort of like charismatic, but in a
Magnetic?
in a sort of way that a preacher might be, or a TV personality, or you're sort of drawn to them.
A cult
Loquacious.
leader.
Charming.
Yeah, but more than that. It's a word for a reason. So, so you had all gotten there with your box of formerly, we'll call it goo. You still don't know what it is.
Well, it's called a bride, and I ate it.
That's right, you did. A bride that you ate. A sort of goo-like creature that seems to be in similar makeup to Mistress, the symbiotic entity that lives within your porcelain shell. In town, you experience some things, some... what's the word I want to use? Conspiratorial misgivings by one of the locals. You encountered a strange humanoid-like creature known as, to this person, a hollow person that seemed to be made in a sort of uncanny valley kind of way with not enough features and too symmetrical, but nonetheless exhibiting human facsimile. You had a tense discussion, from your perspective, with Reverend Gill because you lied to Reverend Gill about the contents of the box you approached him with. He expected something quite different. But through a clever ruse, well done charisma checks, and not saying anything real dumb, you guys made it out of a hairy situation you put yourselves into.
We're very
A
smart.
sticky situation.
A sticky situation.
Are they sticky?
It's goo.
As you had tea with
I don't know, it's
him
I think most goo is sticky. I
Deep
think of most goo as sticky.
within his goo garden.
sticky.
A place with many sort of glass pots and jars that had red, sort of amoeba-like, stringy gloop, for lack of a better term, like gloop sacks that came down from the ceiling all on the sides. You made it out of this conversation and headed home to Ebon Falls, to 84 Bay Ridge, to your warehouse that you rent from local mob boss.
What a life.
What a, it's got real wrapped up in a short amount of time, didn't it? It took about a day to get back. We're going to skip that part of the travel from there to here. You slept, awoke, tended to some business, and over the course of the next few days, you all go through some downtime before the next really main point on your calendar. The royal family, the Asari family, the same that are depicted upon the paper bills of this country, are going to visit the city of Ebon Falls. The Kane Industrial new item, new world-changing product is about to be launched, and this is the flagship city in which it is going to be distributed, I suppose, for sale. It's a big moment, economically and otherwise. So, over those days, what would you like to do? We can roll initiative to see who goes first. You can just speak up. It is
Well.
up to you. And this takes place over the course of several days. We can pick one main day to really do stuff, but you have a decent amount of time.
Well, when we get back, I will have finished another set of clothes, and this time it is for ink.
Okay.
So, Miss Ink,
Yes, what is...
would you like to take a look at the dress that I finished?
Oh, sure, I would love to.
And I'll bring her over to the mannequin. And you see a pretty simple, neutral, like, tan and, like, dark brown vibe, like, dress. Very similar in style to Isabella, with a big poofy skirt with, like, layers underneath it. There's definitely, like, a petticoat. And it's maybe way more frilly than you would think. But, basic, nice clothing.
Just gonna go up and kind of touch it. It's very nice. I've never had a dress before. I appreciate it.
Would you like to try it on?
Sure.
You've never had anything tailored to you before. You try it on. It fits great. It's comfy in a way you didn't expect, something that's usually stuffy, or at least you perceive as such. She has a great eye for this, and you don't know necessarily quality of clothes and how to make them, but it feels quality. It doesn't have a lot of pockets, but it's something. And how does Ink feel? You've never worn a dress before. How do you think Ink is enjoying this? Or
We don't have a mirror, I don't think, in here, but she
No.
kind of looks at it and
I mean,
goes,
I'll say that you have enough in the windows to, like a body mirror,
Yeah.
but you could also go to
Also get
the
one.
bar bathroom.
I don't think I'm gonna go to the
You don't want to go to the Clam for some bar bathroom dress up?
Just go get a mirror. It can't be that expensive.
Well,
I
we
could say
don't
that
have one
over
right
the course
away,
of,
but-
if you want a mirror
You have
for
like
the
a
place,
sewing kit and stuff. It would make sense.
you definitely have a hand mirror. But if
Yeah.
you want like a big full-length mirror, I'll
Yeah,
say
I guess we could
I'll
get
say
one.
I'll say like a gold.
Yeah.
I don't know how much mirrors are in this
I'll pay
universe. It doesn't
for a
matter. We're
mirror.
not to do. As long as you're putting something in for that, is whatever. I don't know. If you start killing vampires with mirrors,
It's
they
a
get
gold,
expensive.
so
I
it'll
don't
be
know.
a big mirror.
Sure.
Ink will just kind of look in it and do the thing where she kind of like moves back and forth and then does one of them.
She does a twirl.
And then
Throws her phone.
Throws her phone. Thank you very much. I think it looks lovely.
You look almost like a different person.
I will take that as a compliment. Thank you.
It is.
So you obtain that. Spend a little bit of time. Now that you have some downtime, and there's not like a press for money yet, although that is looming a little bit on the group. All of you mentioned independently that you'd like to make money at some point. I think except for you.
except for me.
And yours was only
on
for
the work.
it's mostly these two. Care about the bills a lot.
Wait,
Makes sense.
The working class and poor people are worried about paying
Yeah,
the
that makes
bills.
sense.
Yeah.
Or the wealthy
Yeah,
are
they
worried
have
about
they
their
have the
side
anxiety
project.
of maintaining the razor's edge of comfort that they have managed to scrape in this world.
What do you mean?
Chat, I'm not gonna wear the hat because I have a ponytail. I apologize.
I think we'll be okay.
I
You
think
don't
they
have to
will.
wear it every
You're
time.
the only one.
I'm committed.
Well, you wear
Randy
the
wears the
poncho,
poncho
but
every
ponchos
time.
are easy.
It's the poncho.
Ponchos are easy. If we all had poncho characters, we'd
I would
all wear the
recommend it,
poncho.
honestly.
Well, now that it's
poncho
warming
character,
up.
not a terrible.
Now that it's warming up,
Well,
I don't know
nice
if I
down
could, but
I have gloves.
My arms
So
can
it's
still
I'm
breathe.
still wearing a costume piece.
There you go.
I'm not wearing jack shit.
Nope.
You spend some time
Randy,
to
you and I are the only ones who care about verisimilitude.
make the space a little bit more homey. Any of the small changes that you'd like to have made to your particular living spaces as they've worked out. It seems like you have downstairs, you have the rafter upstairs area that if you want to start putting floors in, like, I mean, I don't know how I know how Ink would do it at the hang houses because of the nature of that place. It's just like, well, there's a flat piece of wood I can use for something eventually, but like if you'd like to start building floors or building walls or anything, this is something that we can start talking about as far as if you're just like, hey, what'll this amount of money get me? Here's what I'm trying to do. I'll give you a ballpark. And we can sort of chip away at that. We
Could
don't
do
have
like
to RP
a
each of
whole
those.
collab thing. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like
All of
I
you
can
Like a
draw
again.
the plans. Like we can design it because we're smart and draw out the plans. And
I'm
stuff,
100% fine if you guys wanna if you at the table or outside
Didn't
of
we already
it.
kind of talk about this a little bit with the
Why don't we sit down-
Furbolg and like
Yeah. Why don't we sit down at the
We got a
at the
quote.
table, which is again, it's like a wooden picnic table that was dragged into this warehouse for the people that worked here ages ago, just to sit at the back, so they had some break room. That's your fucking battle station. That's the Knights Round Table of
look,
this
this
place.
is our home, okay?
Yeah, I know. So here's what I'm saying is, if you guys wanted to take a minute to talk about any of your plans moving forward for this space, you can. If you have any like major ideas. If not, we can move forward. But there's been all of you again independently have sort of been like, oh, I want to add this to my space over time. Alchemy kits,
Yeah.
definitely stuff for you and your. I was gonna say your god, but that's not really what's happening here. The gods are dead.
Are they?
Oh,
Yeah.
they're fucking dead. You
Yeah.
killed all of them. All of you guys killed
yeah,
them.
We fucking
Technically-
you were there.
Okay,
Those are
apparently.
I know, technically not one of you killed a
according-
god, but
According to Reverend Gill,
as the Lord of Nothing.
no, but I mean, like, there's things that want to be gods that are like. trying
I
to
don't think
fill
he
the
would
power
argue with you
vacuum.
if you wanted to tell him
Oh,
that his
sure.
god was a god, but
Where's the line between God and entity that gains
I mean,
enough power?
the way
it
the-
used to be the divine gate. That was the
that
line.
was the line.
And
yeah.
also, it used to be that
Whoops.
you had to like believe in a god enough to have them ascend
now-
to godhood.
And now, what has happened is in this world, since this is important. No matter the belief in a god, for 30 years, there has been a waning feedback to that. In fact, all the clerics and paladins and any other like divine, like you get it from a god, they basically lost all their magic.
So Alenia's somewhere in the world as just a fighter.
She has some of her Sork stuff, and yeah, she has some of the martial skills, and I would say the arcane aspect that you picked up, like some of the magic weapons are still there. The professor still was able to do much of what, but unless it's powered by, although you can do this if you're a cleric, unless it's powered by moonships, which have touches of divine magical energy still suffused within them because it was the goddess Aga, or basically the moon was her physical embodiment on the material plane in a lot of ways, and it's how she gave magic to her followers.
Does Velios just fuck then?
What do you mean?
I thought it was kind of like blood magic in a sense.
Blood magic is not divine.
Okay.
So
I was
only
gonna say,
divine
aren't
magic.
You dead, but you altered
but
the lifespans of everyone.
Blood
Yeah.
magic is different.
I was like, man,
blood magic is a more
if that's
primordial.
counted, I'm like a level 20 civilian.
Well, some of you got. I mean, definitely you lost powers. But you can regain access to those things with the use of moon chips. But of course, there are drawbacks to these things. So, yeah, that's the world you live in. So,
Poor Agnew.
is there anything anybody else wants to do that's like small stuff? I know all of you are like, oh, I want to go do this stuff. Obviously, we talked about it, but like, is there any other small thing that we want to add in, sprinkle in throughout the week? Because we're basically going to get into narrative stuff after that, but we can do some housekeeping first.
I think I have to return a book to the library, so that and probably
Sure.
just grab a different book.
What kind of book?
Anything that's maybe a catalog of magic items, or anything about magic items or locations related to, in that genre.
So we're like treasure hunter books, like locations for magic items,
Sure.
treasure hunter
Yeah.
books, and contemporary, or are you looking for like the ruins of Calabasas or something?
I'd say, is there anything that's like legends of magic items and where to find
So like
them?
pretty old stuff.
Sure.
Sure, it's probably called Legends of Magic Items and Where to Find Them. Which you
Take
assume,
that.
if published, means other people have visited.
Maybe they're not as good, though.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check to use the Dewey Decimal System.
You're just looking for like a conspiracy theory book then.
Do you want a conspiracy theory book?
Like,
It
Yeah,
landed
find
on
some
my
real
thing.
Alex Jones shit out there.
I got a 22.
Okay, so and you want specifically like
Someone's heard a
known
rumor.
legendary items.
Yeah.
Okay. You get it. That's and it's called Magic Items and Where to Find Them.
Okay.
You can go ahead and write it down in some way. Spend time. What was the last book you had? And did you read it?
It was a book. Yeah, I assumed I had been reading it like when we had downtime. It was the one that was just about.
Did I give you any information about it?
A little.
Okay,
just
what
in the
was it?
beginning, it was about the Keepers of Eight and the whole thing that happened like 30 years ago. It was just that. It
You
wasn't anything.
lived it, so
Yeah.
Let's say you get a little bit of what happened after
How much did they embellish?
at the end of the. Well, you wouldn't know that,
I
but
guess.
let's just say for a meta
I'm just
perspective.
curious.
I'll say the embellishments come after. I think the embellishments of the fight itself with Zilladek is really where it starts to get inaccurate.
Because
Because
people were there.
most of the book is like interviews of.
Like World War Z.
No, most of it's interviews with you people because it's Tin Top Press. Well, your former characters.
Yeah.
But what happens at the end is they give other people's accounts, and it starts to get like pretty out there. Like Elenia punched a meteor, and like it didn't happen. It sort of happened. She
that
blocked
actually
one.
probably
I
would
would believe
happen,
it if that
yeah.
happened.
You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. And famously, I think the ripples of these things that you would realize is the name Elenia got very popular. Velios also got like the name, just naming your child
Oh
these
god,
things.
naming kids
Yeah.
after.
Yes!
Kind
My
of
goal is completed.
kind of popular. Let's see what else.
The professor get popular as a
I don't
name?
think your
There
name
was
very popular for the
speculation. There
children.
was speculation as to the reason Eric Cochran life expectancy went up, for a little bit, and there was like a little bit of like this, some Alex Jonesian like, oh shit, they were keeping the goddess alive with her life force, and when she died, it obviously not correct, and then eventually you set the record straight. In a couple years, like when that
So
started
did we
to
tell
really-
them about the goblin genocide and then
Oh,
ungenocide?
Do
I
all
No!
of you
Absolutely not.
So the Keepers of Eight have kept to themselves the genocide.
Because we undid it anyway.
We undid
so
the
it's-
You
genocide.
undid a little bit of it.
a little bit is still better than zero.
So that's what happened there. Semi-spoilers for Campaign 1.
Does it say anything about what the professor did after? I'm just curious for selfish
Professor started
reasons.
the Institute
Yeah.
and puts out free educational things to help people in
I'm
their
literally just a
lives.
philanthropist.
Well, no, the other stuff she does is not published, and it's highly illegal
Oh, yeah.
in many countries. Yeah.
I'm a weed philanthropist. That's it. I just
Does
help
Avelios
people.
just smoke weed now? Is that what you said?
What?
He's a stoner dad.
You say weed enthusiast?
philanthropist. Like I just like donate all my money and just smoke weed.
Oh, okay, weed
You remember all this
philanthropist.
shit?
Oh, okay, I do. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I was like,
Well,
wait,
no,
how do you?
I
how
know
are you
he.
blanking on
I
this?
know
Yeah.
that you wanted him to retire to a farm.
I don't remember the
Yeah.
weed.
I don't
part.
remember that either.
What?
I think you added that.
Yeah, I don't remember him being
I feel like it was like an
stoner.
orchard.
Yeah, I think you added that.
I had like
You're
owl
embellishing
orchard
the
that
stoner
eat
part
fruit
'cause
in
you're
my
a
head.
stoner?
It was like 4 a.m. We'd been playing D&D for
I guess
8
that's
hours.
true.
don't
I haven't watched
remember
that since like. The
It makes
week
sense that
of.
Go
he
back
would
and
smoke
watch
weed.
it.
He
Go
does.
weed. I guarantee I can pull the text up.
Okay. So
God damn it.
that's the book you read.
Good book. Good book.
Anybody else need anything just for little stuff before I start to get into big stuff, which I'll probably.
I don't think so.
I'll just start off myself. Okay. So.
It was literally Jake's suggestion
What was it?
A little weed farm at home.
from
He
you.
said-
You're like footed arrows, a farm table restaurant inn for tired adventurers, normal
Yeah.
citizens alike, and then you say little weed farm at home. Like one message later.
Okay.
I'm not.
That was my. But I'm saying, did you say it at the table? That's not. That's totally
Yeah,
different than me
absolutely.
saying like pitching you something in text.
I'm 95%
Alright.
sure.
I
Anyway.
don't remember that.
All right. So.
I mean, it's canon either way. I don't care. I just I don't remember it.
Yeah. No, he can have a weed farm. I'll say. Isaac.
Inject it. Do it.
Isaac wakes up one morning and falls into a Scrooge McDuck pit of syringes.
It's like the Saw movie where.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saw 2.
But he likes it.
Yeah.
He did it on purpose. Saw, but he
Yeah.
did it on purpose. So, no, what happens is you awake on one of these days, and this will be the same day for everybody. So it's just, we're going to do a little cinematic cut back and forth thing. You all have decided to, it's been maybe shitty for a couple days. It's a little bit nicer today, and you kind of don't have any more projects back at home. And it's time to start like pursuing some things. You get a little restless. You've run out specifically of anything else to work on. It has pretty much. This is as ripe as it's gonna be. So you have some. You have some.
You guys are getting hyped for literally nothing. I'm just letting you know this.
You have some threads that you'd like to pull on from Okay, that's gonna be you're gonna get real tired. We only just begun.
That's why I stopped.
I tried to stop, but it kept going. I appreciate your excitement.
It's fine. I'll never display excitement again.
Just letting
I
you know
should
you're
have told her
gonna-
I hated it
Yeah.
because I guess my genuine I appreciate you wasn't.
I want your arms to get tired. It's looking out for you.
So he doesn't inject himself, but he does.
Oh, that's my cue. Okay. First off, he's probably gonna. we're already awake, so
Yeah.
just gonna get ready for the day.
It's a normal day. You already got through this portion of it, and you're about to set out on your own different ways. But you are an early riser, and you kind of don't want any of them being like, "Hey, do you want me to come with you?"
Well, I'm already awake, so.
And he says, "No, I don't want you to come
Yeah, I
with me."
know.
And he fucking leaves.
He fucking leaves.
After his morning tea, and he's like, "No, I'd like to do a couple things." And so you walk out into the morning of Ebon Falls. It's nice out today, but it's becoming fall, so it's still brisk. You have that sort of that happens in fall all the time. There's not a lot of trees around, but if there were, the leaves would be falling. And you walk out into the city. Where do you head?
I'm gonna go first off. I'm gonna pick up a newspaper.
Okay, so you head out. I didn't
Get some-
print out a newspaper physically
I
this time.
literally just
but
thought of this.
yeah, that's fine. So you walk to.
Wait, are you telling me you don't write entire front pages every session for every day?
No, I don't.
Okay,
Um,
this is.
if I had fuck this shit. Can you please produce an entire newspaper?
I'm wearing fucking cat mittens, Jake. How dare you?
Hey, I'll take a couple of those. Take the edge off.
What?
I mean,
You guys okay?
Some ibuprofen.
Ibuprofen.
I went to bed last night early because I had a headache,
Yeah.
and today I'm still like, if I cough or something, it still like has like pressure chips. Anyway,
Keep stalling.
so keep stalling.
Yeah.
remember what I said about the house? That's all I'm saying. Where do you want to sleep tonight? 2 options. One of them is a car. The other is a house.
You head to the chip market, and in the square is the kid that the newsie that sells the newspapers, and royal family to visit soon. You get a newspaper, and you read it, and you sort of flip through it and enjoy sort of a walk through the chip market in the morning, and you smell the sort of the fresh pastries and stuff that they make. It's a little on the other side of the industrial area, so a lot of the smoke and the stuff of the city is gone, and it's just sort of dock area to the east. And the chip market's a nice place. You get why people spend time here. It's sort of a community hub, and it's something that you didn't experience in the Havian Vales. This sort of like walkable culture spot, and it's pretty interesting. And you walk by that weird car that has all the stuff connected to it. That you didn't. I don't think you picked anything off of last time,
No.
but you're more than welcome to. I don't think you're interested. But you get the newspaper and you flip through it.
So this is like a market, right?
Yeah.
There's
It's
like-
the chip market. So in the center of
There's
it
like
is a.
seating, I think.
Oh yeah, there's.
Okay.
It's basically circular. It's like a cul-de-sac, and it has a bunch of businesses, including Leo's Deli and the book place that you guys go to. And in the center is sort of a fountain, but it has like an area to step up to on the sides. It's called like the speaker circle, and people get up there and give their opinions, and which is again sort of culturally significant in this place because there's only certain places where you can actually talk about that stuff. And
So it's like freedom of speech, but just here. If you want to do that, you go.
yeah, you're not allowed to
City
make
specific?
disturbances elsewhere,
Okay.
and they do have freedom of speech
These are
there.
the free speech zones. Okay.
Yeah.
Man,
It's an empire.
How dystopian? Wouldn't it be crazy if that was like a thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wild if you couldn't just say whatever you wanted in the
Weird.
streets.
Just let them scream it out and they'll get over it.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab like just some bagels, coffee.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit, read the newspaper, of course.
Uh huh.
Then when I'm done, I'm just gonna listen.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception check. And what are you trying to listen for? Obviously, people talking and like
Yeah.
the city in general.
I don't know how to explain it without explaining it.
So explain it. What do you mean? Is it a secret?
Yeah.
Why is it a secret?
Because you know what it's about.
Say the thing.
I literally don't want to say it out loud.
Okay.
I think you have an idea.
Go ahead and make a perception check anyway.
Okay.
You can text me just to make sure.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if that was like 15.
15. Around here, it's less hearing stuff. It's less hearing people talk and more seeing how people react. There is a mix of things happening in the city. Right now, the number one thing happening is clearly like businesses are ramping up for the president's coming to town shit. The royal family is coming to town, and like that started to give people buzz. You're seeing these blue and white and silver sort of banners around. You're seeing people put like that stuff you draw on your shop window with, and they're making like patriotic effigies. But also people are like holding their kids a little tight. You don't see when you first walk through here, in fact, and you see the Rat Gang where they hang out in front of this. It's basically a bodega that sells them liquor, and they hang out in front of it. And it's where on your first session, Ink ran into them for just a minute. They hang out there, but the kids that usually play around the fountain area aren't doing that. There seems to be a bit of a pullback by the community, as there's been missing kids.
Okay. Was there anything new in like the newspaper?
Nothing new on that front, but you do see a follow-up article by crime reporter Mila Stipe that is basically there's not much happening in this as far as progress is concerned, and she's sort of getting without saying it. She's a decent writer that you can tell has like there's an opinion there, but again, much like any other kind of media that is state run, and this is the state paper, she has to intimate more than she can just say by pulling quotes and putting words in certain ways, and you sense some frustration in the community by this. The Silvers are focused way more on the royal family coming than they are on some poor kids.
Well, I assume the Asari Sun has an office.
Yeah, they do.
I would like to head there.
Okay. So you head over towards the Asari Sun, which is actually across the bridge and in the ring side of the city, but not far in. So you start making your way there, heading west. Next up, the two of you. Isaac is left for the day. Soren is still sleeping. He has been almost incessantly like typing at late hours and strange hours. He doesn't like when you guys don't have stuff going on. Sometimes it's like he'll take naps, and he's in and out of like you almost forget he's there sometimes when he gets like really focused on something, and then he'll be around for a second. He'll interact with you, but right now it's about 9 a.m. and you're just now sort of getting up for the day, and you're getting your stuff ready, and you hear a knock at the door.
Oh, I'll go answer.
As you go answer, you see at the door opening up someone you recognize but don't know super well. One of your good friends. It's Olana. Olana Ashwish has made her way to the warehouse. You invited her not too long ago, right before you left for host. You're like, hey, stop by sometime. She does stop by. She brings breads, meat logs, and something from one of the old women in the hang houses. People just call her grandmother. They call many people grandmother. But she's like the grandmother from your like sort of cluster.
Yeah.
Honey cake, a layered, very rich cake that has like, it's a real thing in real life, but it features many layers of cake sweetened with honey and then like a cream sweetened with honey in between. It's a very rich thing, but very good. She brings them and goes, "Good morning, I thought I would come visit."
Oh, hello.
Hello!
Oh,
And you hear this.
I'll do come in, please,
As
and let her
it's
in.
opened up and she walks in, closes it.
I'll go and give her a hug. Oh, Lana, it is so good to see you. I'm glad you could finally make
Gives
it.
you a hug and she looks around and she goes, and she grabs one of the croissants out of there and like rips a piece off and eats a bite. She goes, "This is pretty good stuff." She looks up and she looks at the hammock in the ceiling and all the stuff around it. And your spot?
You know, I got so used to hanging perilously over a large chasm, I thought this was the next best thing.
An 8-foot drop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said it was next best. I did not say it was close.
Soren, you smell for the first time in 5 years hot honey cake. It is a dessert from your homeland. It's where it started. So it's pretty clear whoever this grandma is lived there at one point, probably an expat that moved decades ago. But you can smell the honey cake. If you look up Russian desserts, it'll be there. And it is a welcome. It's like one of those sensory memories you didn't know you forgot until you find yourself waking up and drifting wordlessly towards this thing.
Yeah.
Like a fucking cartoon character following the
Yeah, like you
wavy
float on the
lines.
scent.
Is it giving off like a weird smoke in the shape of a hand? That, like,
that taps him awake.
It would if you were in the ethereal plane, but you sit down at the table and you enjoy some snacks and you have some small talk. And after a little bit, she says like, "Oh, I've been working odd jobs here and there. Still interested if you have a job for me." And she's not an adventurer by any stretch, so you shouldn't probably take her on adventures, but you can. It's level 1. But
weren't we all at one point though? We can level her up.
maybe.
I can fix her.
Maybe. But she asks, "What do you have in mind for the rest of the day? It's a beautiful day out, and it's supposed to be nice."
I did not have any specific plans. I do not know. I know your brother was out doing something.
I'm
Soren
not sure
just eats cake.
what he was doing, but my plans this evening were probably to go to the more rich part of town.
Interesting. Any particular reason?
Well, maybe to socialize or I don't know. I haven't been. The city's a little different than back home.
Oh, you're trying to socialize?
Yes.
Does it have to be in the evening? I got stuff to do tonight. A client.
It doesn't have to be, no.
Oh, good. Well, I don't have tonight off, but I have this brunch off.
Are you saying you'd like to come with us?
You would come with me.
You would take us.
Okay, so there's this guy, okay, that is one of my clients, okay? A little bit of an upper crust guy. Let's just say he works in the Blue Chalice. And, well, he likes some weird shit, okay? So he sort of treats me a little bit nicer than he treats, other people because I know his fucking secrets. And, well, he talks a little bit. But he talked about this brunch spot where all the, there's this is sort of a bougie place, and if you're going to tear down a system from somewhere, it might as well be from the inside, I always say. So I have been to this brunch spot a couple times. It's called the Tea House, and it is Well, do you think you could pretend to be rich as fuck for a little bit?
I think I could. In fact, I have a new dress I could wear.
Okay, because I'm on the list there, and I don't normally flex it or anything, so I think I can just get us.
Wouldn't you want a different outfit?
You
for-
look at her, and she has
Maybe
like the
tea?
deepest V. It is barely hanging on. Maybe by some sort of magic, her nips don't fall out. Her pants have slits down both sides. She's always
Slut.
she is
The
absolutely
goods are on display.
100%. She fucking loves it too. And she's quite literally
She's a
smoking
horror
hot. Her
lover.
hair is smoke with a little bit of fire at the top. So, she goes, of course, we'll meet up. It'll be nicer, but yeah. They think. By the way, these people are, upper crust as fuck. What is today? She looks at the ladies' club is there today.
Sounds perfect.
Well, we're not part of the ladies' club. We only observe from afar. We are not allowed inside the ladies' club. Don't get me wrong.
What do you mean? I thought you said that you could get us inside.
I can get you inside the tea house. I can't get you inside the ladies' club inside the tea house. These are things that must be earned.
I don't
Step
see
1.
why we couldn't.
Marry a rich person or... yeah, well, you can't be the rich person. They have a different club.
In fairness, she was going to marry a rich person, and
There you go. If you marry him...
He's
you
dead
marry
now.
she. If you marry the dead guy...
I don't think
You
that's
can get
legally
posthumous...
possible.
I don't know about illegal. Laws were meant to be broken.
I think they might know this. He's been cold for a while. It was. You mind if I tell her?
Sure.
It was Kane. She's gonna marry Kane.
Kane.
Big industrial
I think
guy.
it's Kane.
Died like a.
He's
Yeah, why are you bringing him up?
That was who she was engaged to.
Why didn't you fucking do that? What are you doing here?
Well,
He
stole-
died immediately. You could have had all of that. That was a terrible move.
He stole my brother's research.
Don't care. Who cares?
I don't think we expected him to suddenly die, either.
Maybe next time you'll get a husband that will die very soon. It's worth a
Maybe.
shot. Well, anyway, if you want to come to the tea house, I can meet you. I can meet you near it. She gives you directions to the tea house. It's up in the rings. It does have a dress code. Your dresses will do. There are no weapons allowed on the premises. But you might be able to get away with probably not the blaster. But you could probably get away with something else if you tried to hide it, if you wanted to.
Could I
have
try
something.
and conceal a dagger? I have a couple daggers.
Also, you can hide a dagger for free.
Guard
And if you
off
want
the
anything
dagger.
beyond a dagger or something similar,
There's lots of petticoats. She could totally hide something
That's
on
fine.
her
I'll do a
leg.
dagger.
I'm
I'll
saying
do a-
without a roll.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
could
yeah.
hide more. I'm just saying that's without a roll.
I'll just do a thigh strap dagger. I think that's fine.
Okay. I don't think anyone's gonna pat you down at
No,
the tea house,
I
so
don't, I don't intend to get in any trouble anyway. So
it's
it's
always
fine.
good for a lady to be strapped up. So
It's fine. I already have.
I prefer my
mistress.
ladies strapped on.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Hi, Baha.
So
I'll be home later.
Oh my god.
I'll be home for strap on. So you two get pumped for brunch, get all gussied up, spend the next
Pumped.
get
Oh
pumped
god,
for
do I
brunch,
have
spend
to
the next
try to like? I'm going to be just fixing everything on her to make sure that she looks like. Brush the dirt off of her fur.
Do you
some
paint her
spots.
claws?
So are we rolling for makeover?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Give me I mean, let's call it a performance check, but I'll say you have proficiency whether you have it or not. I don't know if you do in performance.
I don't.
So just a
That's
charisma
pretty
check
good,
with
though.
proficiency. I'll say you're pretty fucking good at this.
In
In your style, you know, if you wanted like a punk look, I don't think you'd be able to pull it off. But
no, we're very proper.
well, this is what it's for anyway. So.
So you said charisma with proficiency? That
Yep.
would be a 19.
A 19. Okay. And do you like being gussied up? Okay. So there is little to no resistance, and you guys have a good time. You bond a little bit. I don't know how you feel about that, but you feel pretty good. It's like the most normal she's been, even though it's like a very like clinical approach, and everything's like perfect. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. So you guys head out and you start walking toward brunch for the day. Is there any interaction you would like to have with either of these two before they head out, or vice versa, as you eat cake and head back to your writing and do whatever else you're doing today?
I'll just let them know that I'm planning to go to the library later. If you would like me to look for anything for you or pick anything up, I can do that.
And when he says he's going to the library, you
Oh,
see
shit.
what?
I saw the library book.
That was like
I love how fucking genuine the D&D library book return realization was.
Because we've all felt that. We've all felt, fuck, I have a library.
It's 3
book
a.m.
to
You're
return.
just about to fall asleep. Finally, after a long day. Oh, fuck, I didn't return the library. But yeah, no, I've been there, too.
Now you gotta pay the late fee.
My community college put me in collections for $7
I got
because
put in
I forgot to
collections
return a
for-
book.
I got him put in collections for high school library books.
Yeah.
For it was like $5.
Yeah, I forgot. And I was like,
From
can I
your
just
high
pay
school?
this
Yeah.
over the phone? And she's like, yeah, you can. And then I did. And that was it. Anyway, you return the book if you want to have looked up another book on your way, because you're essentially already out and about anyway, and you had other days,
No, I'm
so
good.
your book's returned. But I appreciate that. Okay, so
I would say fairy tales.
Book of Fairy Tales. Okay.
Something different than what I have.
Okay.
Which mine is very like, it's like the equivalent of this universe's Grimm's fairy tales. So like,
Yeah, which come from the Halvian Vales, which have their own spin on it, which is sort of a Germanic space anyway. So, fairy tales of some other kind. Maybe less gothic ones? Who knows? Or more. Do you want to get her a book she likes or a book you think she maybe needs for personal development? That's a question for later. So, so you head out. You have the warehouse to yourself. And it's actually a little nice. You haven't had a living space by yourself, just for you time, in a bit. Now, you time is a little different than everyone else's their time, because you are never quite alone. But nonetheless, you have a little time if you'd like to do anything before you head out. I'm assuming locking the door behind you, double checking the grate and the bottom before you head out.
No, we don't really have we only have the one table, and it's like
You have one picnic table. I mean, you have enough for you basically for your desk. You pushed up crates that weren't being used and put like a thing over top of it, and you have like a stool. I mean, it's we're making do right now.
yeah.
Again, if you have any ideas for your space and you just want to be like, I want sort of this, I can tell you how much you want to put down. We'll see what we can get you.
No, I think the crates will do. So I'll push one more over to be kind of like a nightstand next to the bed there.
Sure.
And then I'm just gonna pull out my luggage from under the bed
Okay.
and unzip that and start going through it.
So you pull out your luggage, and this was your dad's luggage. And so you pull out this, it's basically tweed on top, it's got an old zipper, and you just, you undo a flap, and you pull it out, and it still has, even though you've traveled with it a bunch, every time you open it up, it has just a waft of home. Every time. It's like that old like it's almost like it's been wet and then dried and then wet and then dried many times, maybe from being dragged through the rain and other travels, but this is held up for a long time. And you dig around in there, you have some, at this point, artifacts from what is essentially a different life. But underneath that,
I start pulling out various little trinkets. The first of which are kind of like matching limestone statues that have been carved, one to look like a baboon and one to look like an ibis.
okay,
So I'll set those on the crate next to each other. And then like a pewter medallion, probably about that large, that just shows 3 drinking horns, like interlocked with each other to almost make the image of like a Celtic knot.
okay,
And I'll put that on there
set
as well.
that down.
A cross that's made out of like a canvas type material
Okay,
that's got the shape of a square in the center and then the 4 arms coming out. I'll take that, put that on there as well. And then I'll just put everything out. 2 medallions that both look like the sun, one of which has a rose superimposed over the middle, and so I'll put those on the crate as well. And then the last thing is just a bracelet that's made out of like braided red cord. I'll take that out and just put that over my left wrist.
okay.
And then
And you
close
do
up the
this,
luggage.
and now would you say you do this particularly? Or,
Yeah.
okay, so you set
That's
them in
fun.
their
Symbol.
spaces,
Yeah, this is
And
mine.
and then do you take them onto your person?
Most
like,
of them I'm
set
just
them?
gonna leave there for
Okay.
now.
Okay.
But I'll wear the bracelet and just put the rest on there.
All right.
And then put the luggage back in a way, and I'll head out for the day.
All right. You head out for the day, put in the door behind you. With your many trinkets in the spot they're supposed to be. Isaac, we return back to you. You have made your way to the Asari Sun. It's just like a red brick building that's about 2 stories tall. It's like thin. It's like a townhouse that was converted into an office space next to other brownstones across the bridge and in the rings part of the town across the crack. There's other commerce and stuff going around. It's like not a main street with businesses, but sort of the main that secondary street in every town where like the post office is, and then all the other like, oh, the public library is nearby. There's a school not too far, and then in sort of the middle of this place is the Asari Sun. The doors just open, so you just walk in, and inside, the bottom here is like an open floor that goes to the back, and you can hear like this, and you can see a pair of open double doors that go to the back. Is a floor worth a bunch of workers, maybe a dozen or so, as this place seems to open up into like a warehouse that maybe is attached to from the back, and there's a whole printing area back there. But the front are the offices, and it basically has a sign that says like printing floor and then offices with a little arrow that goes up, and so you follow the stairs up and walk around, and like people are looking at you, but they don't care that you're there. It's like a public place that people get to walk into, and you walk up to the top, and it says basically Asari Sun, and it's got a smoky window that you can't see through, but from the inside you can hear. So you can hear people typing on the inside. I assume you walk into the door. You turn the door and open, and you see up front a handsome, like rugged handsome, nice square jaw, like a 5 o'clock shadow that's like shaved exactly to 5 o'clock shadow every morning. You see like a Caesar haircut, like in the like the cut he has in the Gladiator, like with the gel,
What?
like bangs and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And you see what is essentially, this is how I'm going to describe him to you. It's essentially a halfling that is also Liv Schreiber, the actor.
Oh my god.
And he
Wait,
and
who's that? What have they?
he played Sabretooth in the X-Men.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
well,
Yeah.
That's why I went there and not like one of his better works.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
Know your audience.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
Lots of other.
I
lots of
know
other
what I'm
things.
about.
Yeah, me too. This is there's a little plaque on the front of his very disorganized. Well, to you it looks disorganized, but you could tell there's like a system, you just don't know it, of stacked papers that there. Some of them are askew and some of them are up there and they're stacked up. And he's sitting on a chair, and then on top of that chair is like a pad that he sits on, and his knees bend over the pad and onto the top of the chair rather than onto the floor. And he's a halfling, and he's over top of it, and he's typing away, and he looks at you and he goes, "Oh, who do we have here?"
Hello, the name's Isaac.
"Oh, Isaac. Okay." He types. "I'll be with you in just a second." He types and he takes a drag off of like out of his ashtray with like 12 other cigarettes out of it, and he smokes like the last, the Mordor bit that gets hot, and sets it down, takes his glasses off and like folds them and puts them on his shirt, and pops down and walks over to you, comes up to you about your waist. He goes, he pulls on his suspenders. "So Isaac, huh? Welcome to the Asari Sun. What can I do for you?"
I was wondering if Ms. Stripe was in. Stipe?
Lila Stipe, yeah. "Oh, Stipe. Yeah, she's here. Okay, what's your business?" She's not gonna let me just. I'm just gonna yell.
I think I
at me.
might be able to assist.
Assist with what?
Well, possibly these missing children. It's something I might be able to help out with.
Okay. Come with me, and he walks you back, and there's like some cubicles with some other people there, mostly editors and stuff. And you get to this sort of back left. It has a closed office, but the door is open, and there's like a little wedge there, and there's a sign next to the door that says, "If you don't know the question you're about to ask, shut the fuck up until you do." So do you know the question you're about to ask, if you're going to ask a question? Because that would be good. And he sort of knocks on the door, and you hear her just go, "What?" without looking, and you sort of peek around, and she's got her back to the door, and she's got a ball in her hand. She's throwing it against a wall, and she's just doing this. And Brambleberry Feedrish, who is the halfling that helped you.
Brambleberry
What a name.
Feedrish?
Brambleberry Feedrish.
That's
He
a
is
great
he
name.
is the
That
beat
is
writer.
Incredible.
He's in your newspaper. Brambleberry Feedrish, the
yeah.
beat writer.
Yep.
Hey, we got somebody in here that says he thinks he can help out with your missing kids case. Might have some information or something. And the ball gets caught. And she turns. And he goes, "All right, kid, go ahead." And he walks away. And you sort of walk in. And she looks at you and she says, "Shut the door."
Shut the door.
And you sort of have to go ahead and roll me. Go ahead and roll me a flat intelligence check when you shut the door.
Fuck.
Just because it's one of those social situations where the wedge is in the door and you have to like kick it, but it's got to be right or else
oh
you're gonna be
God.
fighting with it.
15.
Yeah, you're fine. You kick it right and you shut the door pretty fast, which is good because you don't want to linger here. You can tell that like without rolling an insight check, when you walk into this woman's space, it reminds you a little bit of your own. There is a wall to the left that is very clearly, very particularly, not red strings, it is articles and papers and reports, all the same size of paper, pinned to the wall on like they have like a single hole in the top. There's a nail that goes through them, and they're like bound and collated, and they have real titles on them. She pulls them off the wall to look at them when she needs to, and she keeps them up, and it's like her vision board, but of very specific things. There's a rug on the floor that she... Go ahead and roll a perception check. Just in general, to see what this space looks like.
It's great. It's a 4.
A 4? Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing that you can tell besides this is that everything is very neat in here. And you sit down on you sit down on the chair, and she's across from you from a desk, and she leans forward, and she is a she got some sharp features. She's a elvish woman, so she has these particularly sharp ears, more so than some other elves, and they almost curl at the top, implying some sort of like I don't know any other way to say this except for, in your experience, it'd be like what racist elves think Aryan elves would be.
Oh God.
Is like the sharper their features, the more fey ancestry that they show to more of a degree, like a boomer elf would be like, oh yeah, you should make babies with that one. Which is how people from where you live sort of delineate elves in that sort of like passive racist way. So the first thing you can hear is your father's sort of like, you know, there was conflict between these two countries for a while, and it's a very elven heavy. So immediately you have that, but she is she has a little bit of an aggressive demeanor. Like most elves have this sort of natural elegance to them, and while she certainly could pull that off, she sort of aggressively like leans forward and goes, all right, so you say you can come in and help me with this?
Well,
what do you got? And she pulls out literally one of these. I guess I have a yellow paper pad right here. Pulls out a yellow pad, and just sort of like folds it over, and you can tell that like it's got like book like notations and marks in it where she flips to certain pages. She got different cases that she's working on. She flips it open and starts writing.
well, at the moment, I couldn't write yet. I don't have any information for you, but I understand.
Oh God.
I can tell you are
Are you
frustrated. No,
Are you going to
offer you my help?
accuse one
No.
of your neighbors or something?
Absolutely not. I would just like to help. That's all.
You'd like to help find little boys in the city?
Groomer.
Is this Isaac's actual reaction? Do you think Isaac is just like, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
That's fine. Pick that up later.
Use your prodigious mind.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Persuasion plus 4, 25.
Oh.
That's a good usage of that. You don't
Yeah.
want it going around that you're looking
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
little
yeah.
boy.
Yep.
So it's-
And she goes,
you don't want to nat one that.
The pedophile role.
so you're just like a
Vibe.
you're just like a citizen that wants to help out?
It is precisely it, yes.
You don't sound like a citizen.
Well, I am just a citizen. Don't really have a title or job yet, but I'm working on it.
So you're a jobless, clearly recently immigrated to this country young man.
That is correct.
Why do you think you can help this? And she's like a little. You can see a little bit of her. Go ahead and roll an insight check as she does this.
Okay, I'm real good at this.
As she reaches down into her desk.
Oh, shit.
Pretty good?
22.
Sure,
It's
yeah,
natural
this is
19.
great. I'm glad you get this insight check. She reaches down into her desk and she grabs what is essentially like a travel Tupperware, and she clicks it open.
Mm-hmm.
And she flops it out. and she grabs something else out of the side drawer, and she shakes it up. She pours some vinaigrette on her salad as if, fuck it, I can take lunch now. Go ahead.
That's fine.
Maybe I'll get a good story out of this shit. And she starts eating her lunch and listening to you talk. She cracks open, clearly is like some sort of drink she had prepared for her lunch. And she is like, she's set down her notepad. She assumes that she's going to spend about 10 minutes with your ass. And go, like, you know that, like, you do not have her hooked on this right now. But she starts eating her salad and goes, okay.
Well, don't have a lot of experience in this, but
You're very good at selling yourself.
I'm not. Not the best for this. But
What is this? What do you mean by this? What are you trying to accomplish?
I can't handle this. This is so tough.
Well, I'm checking what your charisma score is. I'm
14, fuck you.
Trying to get secrets?
Sus.
Get out of here. I'll slap that hand.
So,
Little paw. Fuck out of here.
so what are you trying? Are you trying to help?
Yes. That's it.
Okay, why?
Well, growing up, I didn't have the best of parental people in a situation, and I can only imagine how these kids would feel not being with their parents. And I'm fairly smart, pretty fucking smart actually, and I think that I would be able to assist with the investigation aspect of actually physically being there. I just don't have any information, and you have information, and I could tell by your articles that you are not particularly happy with the cops, and
Oh, he picked that up, did you?
yes, I did. And I would just like
Got
to
a
help.
warning for that last one.
Could have been a little more obvious, I think.
Okay, so what you're essentially asking here
It's for you
is
to
some
trust
clandestine.
someone you've never met before. Today, yes.
Okay. What can it hurt? You didn't. All right. Have you talked to the cops?
No. Why would I trust them?
She likes that.
A-cap, baby.
There is a. Well, the Silvers say they're investigating, but I don't think they give a shit about poor kids. I don't think there's a.
The Royals are coming. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, they are. But. Okay. Here's what I'll give you. You have until I'm done with this salad to listen to me. I'm going to give you basic information. I'm not going to give you anything else. With that basic information, you will either become someone that I can talk to you down the road for further things, or you do not. Sound fair?
Absolutely.
Okay, because your pitch was, I mean, honestly, wanting a little bit. You could have, like, pretended to be a private investigator. You could have pitched me some other bullshit. Like, you could have lied about your
Yeah, but
qualifications, or you could
starting off
have.
on a lie is not the best.
That made me both trust you more and less at the same time, and I don't know. It's okay. I mean, if you have nothing you can do about it. All right. Names of the boys. Dammy Ausbrook.
Dammy? Okay. Okay.
That's a human. The other kid was Zundu Muns. He's a hob boy. The last one was Gonus Alkeef, the half-elven boy. Now, all of them are around the same age, between 12 and 15. All from poor places. Dammy lived out in the Kane complex, apartment number 525. Zundu lived in the Zephyr Square bodega. Well, in a Zephyr Square bodega. There's Zephyr Square is a little place near the train. There's a bodega there. It's got like yellow signs on it. You can't miss it. And then there was the Dockview Apartments where Gonus was, number 13. All these kids went missing around the same time, within a period of about 48 hours. Cops did basic questioning, took the report, and didn't really follow up. When I followed up, well, Dammy's father is a bit of a drunk, didn't really get much out of him. The parents of the Munns boy, you know, they're just working class, they're just trying, they don't really, I mean, they're first generation, they came here, you know, very shortly before the moon crash, and were first responders, they got health problems. It's a shit show, and then Gonus's mom seemed the most worried. He's also the youngest, 12. But I hit a dead end. I asked his friends. They play down at the docks or whatever. Play is a strong word. They hang out at the docks. They're tweens, teenagers. You know how they are. And probably smoking cigarettes and drinking wine coolers and shit. Well, those kids stonewalled me. I don't know anything, and frankly, I didn't feel super safe down there. Maybe gang activity, I can't tell. But that's about as far as I got. I don't know. So that's it. And she takes the last bite of her salad. She wipes her mouth with a little napkin, tosses it in the trash. She takes the bowl and sort of sets it over, puts the lid back on. And what's your name? Isaac?
Isaac Baines.
Baines. All right.
Were these kids taken from around the places?
I mean, no one saw them disappear, but it's not like they were like particularly avid world travelers, so I assume from their locations or a location nearby. Maybe the same location, maybe different each, not sure.
If I was to look at a map of this, like the actual
it wouldn't
map,
look like a
where-
pattern. It basically goes from the I guess I can show you. Nope, that's not the city. I have it. It basically goes from up here, and this is the chip market. You guys are down in here. Here, and then near the Zephyr train, so this is the docks. This is the Zephyr market, and then down here is the Kane complex. So just kind of on the border, on the side.
Okay.
But not like a pattern. But they're close
but I
enough,
know.
within walking distance. You know, it'd be a long walk, but.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess let me know when you come back if you can help.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Prop the door open on your way out. You do. You kick the wedge under and you head on out. And on the way through, you hear from the back, "Stipe, in my office now." From a cracked door, and you see a dark-skinned human man with a balding head, thick glasses, and like a sort of gray dappled curly beard. Very skinny, like he doesn't eat enough. And she goes, "Okay, boss," and then you walk out of the office and down and out with your notes and heading towards that. Ladies,
It's brunch time.
it's brunch time. So we should see if we have brunch music. Do we have brunch?
You just decided to become a PI on the Downtime?
Maybe.
Maybe.
There's something else going on.
So, boink, boink.
I wish I could just personally insight check the. I just want to do it to help people because my daddy was mean.
So,
Daddy issues make the world go round, okay?
damn right.
True.
Would anyone have any motivation to do anything if it wasn't despite their parents?
Ink Isabella and Olana, you head up north and then west from the chips over the long way down into the rings, the wealthy side of town. Work is currently underway for, and you see signs around the little junctions in the street for a thing called the Under Shuttle, a relatively new feature in this city that will provide at some point transit. It's essentially a subway. It's a local Zephyr Express for all intents. It'll take some time to complete it, but you know that the capital, Mythenalos, boasts a robust transit system. You make your way to the tea house. It is at the top of a hotel. It is very near the Blue Chalice, which is the governmental building. It's basically the Capitol building that sits upon the highest point in the city that the big, the shade bridge that the hang houses are on leads to basically the upper deck of that, which is an entire governmental sort of complex. But there's a hotel by there that diplomats often stay at. It's basically like the Hyatt, the big, rich, ritzy one. And at the top of that place is where a lot of people go just to go to a restaurant. It is the Ritz. And in the tea house, one of the many venues up here, there's a rooftop, basically like dinner party space as well that gets catered by the restaurant below. But you head in. Olana gets you past the door, and you are allowed to sit at a table. The room here is gorgeous. There's a balcony that runs along the entire edge of this place that doors open. There's several sets of double doors that open all along the edge. They all have glass windows. There's like these big whooshy sort of like silky fabrics that allow the coolish air to come in. There's patio seating out there. All the wait staff here are that you can see are young elvish men that are very skinny and quite tall and have basically like little black ties, like little skinny black ties, black suspenders that go to slacks, business shoes, and or I guess very, very dress shoes, and just white button-ups that they curl up to their elbows, and then have they actually wear gloves here, white sort of gloves that I guess show the pristine of their touch. They bring over a bottle of bubbly, sort of like mimosas in the morning, and allow you to start drinking these things. The floor in here is a beautiful, like that high polish, super gloss finish wood of like this parquet design. And and
It's like an Instagram spot.
yeah, and it is, and the chairs are very cushy with this beautiful, like, it's very Baroque, and you see there's other tables with other people getting brunch. It's not only women here. A lot, though. This seems like a daytime spot for the upper crust sort of lady folk that their husbands or themselves work in this space. You see people, some women that are officials, and you see some men worked in there too that are probably also that. But the women's club that meets here is essentially in the back in what the VIP space is. It's a banquet center most of the time, but the doors are open, and you see 5 women sitting there. They're close enough to where if you really tried, you could hear their conversation or parts of it. But Olana takes time to tell you who they are, because, well, they're the who's who. You have
Give me one moment.
in the tea house, and also I will say, as of note, because since you and Olana are constantly looking for marks, there's a coat room where people's coats are taken. And there is there's a place where valuables are kept. Basically safes, sort of like temporary lockers where if people are taking, you know, stuff from maybe a shopping trip, because there's a whole bunch of shopping you can do in this whole complex, that they can leave here while they eat lunch and not have to deal with it. So you know those spaces exist if you wanted to have some clandestine investigations. But you see, as Olana goes over, she leans over, and as you eat some, like, I don't know, what are they, pedophores and macaroons.
Pedophores?
Is that what they're called?
Pinafores?
Pinafores?
I
I think you have that wrong. Penifores? I don't think is correct.
They're not
Penisfores
Penisfores
are not actually the...
Okay, it wasn't the thing you said earlier.
Yeah, pedophores. Pedophores?
Pedophores?
See, that sounds like pedophiles. to me.
Pedophiles?
Yeah,
What are they
right?
called?
So
Are they pettyfores? What are they called? They're the little,
the tiny cakes.
yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
petite. Yeah, petite four.
Can
Yeah,
I see how it's
pedophore.
spelled?
Oh.
It's petite four,
Yeah.
Petite four.
but it's not said like that. Anyway, it means small oven. Yeah,
So they
small oven.
don't make them in a small oven, do they? They
I
just
don't know.
they're just tiny.
Anyway.
You make tiny things in a big oven.
Anyway, you're eating those things, and they're very delicious. She says, "Yeah, see that one right there? That is the leader of the women's group. That is Mrs. Giozana, the wife of Governor Giozana. See, that is, well, that's the union boss's wife, Mrs. Abel, A-B-E-L. There is,
What was her name? I'm sorry.
You gotta slow down.
Abel, A-B-E-L,
Union boss?
union boss's wife. There's Mrs. Koski. There's a woman who isn't as established as the rest, but is allowed here nonetheless. An older woman who doesn't seem the turnover of her husband's station has caught up yet. All the other women are younger. So she's sort of like, I guess, grandmothered in. This is Gloria Pfeffermill. She is the wife of Treasurer Abel Pfeffermill. Pfeffermill. And last is the in a tux with golden lipstick is Mrs. Battelle, wife of battle maiden Levin Battelle, General Levin Battelle, who is she is the leader of, she's basically the general of the Ebon Falls army here. And is tasked with providing security to
Did you
Ebon Falls against the
Did you say what Miss Koski?
Vanguard Girl. Miss Koski, what about her? Her name is Rianne.
There was nothing else about like why she's there.
Her husband
Her
is
relation?
Captain Koski.
Oh. Who's that?
What? What?
Her husband, the captain of the Silvers,
Oh,
Beryl Koski, who
No,
Guy,
you should
you
have just said
showed
pig.
up at our.
pig.
Pig.
She smells like bacon.
She uses bacon.
So those are the people there. Are you enjoying your drinks?
Well, they are
Pretty swanky, eh?
quite good. I don't think I've eaten in a place like this in a long time. Not since.
Eat it up. I'm not paying for this. The Lieutenant Governor's chief advisor is paying for this.
So what dirt do you have on him anyway? What,
I'm the Lieutenant Governor's chief advisor?
yeah.
Like his sex stuff?
Is it feet?
It's not feet.
It's usually feet.
No. Well, not in my experience.
How did you come across this information?
Well, you see,
I can't even give a straight face.
and she goes on to proceed to explain how dominatrixes work
Oh,
and how wealthy business.
should have just explained it.
Well,
But
you sit and listen to her factual. You don't. I don't. How does Isabella take in this information?
I think she would hear about it, go, oh, that makes sense, and then that's it.
Sure. You, on the other hand, sat back and started eating food and just listened happily. Yes, a little bit of the lap of luxury, huh? This is what life could be like.
Yes, hopefully.
And it seems flammable.
Why would it need to be flammable?
Well, it doesn't need to be flammable. It's just helpful. She pops another. More of this.
Can I try to listen into the conversation?
Sure, you hear like a collection of from the table. Yeah, and you see, they're not working on like a feast or anything, but they're, drinking and being loud with one another and enjoying each other's company. Go ahead and make a perception check.
I'm not good at these. It was almost a natural 20. I fucking... Wait, no, I already know. 6.
6.
I haven't that good.
You catch with a 6.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that Rianne Koski is particularly quiet.
Can I try and listen as well? Was it perception? 8.
8. You notice that Gloria Pfeffermill seems to come here specifically so she can get day drunk.
Respect.
This will not be your only opportunity to
Yeah.
try to gain information.
Do I notice, like, any particular staff that seem to be servicing their table?
Yeah, they have a waiter.
I want to try to, like, signal him down, like, flag him down, on the way back or forth.
Easy enough.
on the way
You
back.
do so. He's very attentive as you make eye contact and raise your hand as you've definitely more than once in your life have called the help over. So you call the help over, and Yeah, he looks roughly similar to the other one, just a different hairstyle, different person, but I mean, like, they're in uniform. Comes over and goes, yes, what can I do for you?
Hello. This is my first time at this establishment.
Oh, well, welcome to the tea house. I see that you're enjoying our petite fours.
This is gonna be a joke. Yes, it's very lovely, but I was wondering, is there some sort of VIP
Yes.
club? Is that something that is eligible to join?
He laughs a bit and he sort of flips the menu up under his arm and he looks over to you very professionally, but you can see that he's a little amused by the question as he maybe gets this from time to time. And he goes, yes, I'm quite sorry to report that, well, that is a room of women that have particular social status within the city, and you can tell that as he sort of rambles and tries to talk you out of that, he doesn't really have the language to describe to an outside person why inviting themselves to that clear high-level social clique is awkward to do, and he's trying to ride the line of telling you, go ahead and roll an insight check, see how much you get. He's trying to tell you basically, no, you can't have dinner with the governor's wife and all of those people, but also, I'm so happy you came here.
It was like a 2. So.
So you heard the words, but you did not synthesize this as you bid him adieu, and he nods, and he tries to walk away. Is there anything else you want to tell him? This is a tough spot for him, because you don't care. You can tell, but you don't care. I don't have to save this man yet.
No, that'd be all.
Okay, and he walks away. And Alana goes, well, just shooting a shot, huh? I like you.
She's not great with social boundaries, you know.
Me either. Who cares?
I don't understand.
And by the way, Olana is wearing quite it's covering stuff up, but the booba action on here, and she's not a particular she doesn't have like knockers or anything. She's not like Milky's out here. She's just like, if she can accentuate a curve, she does so. It's like the strawberry dress, kind of like, where it's nice, but like, that's a booby shirt.
Are you saying that I would not fit in well with them?
No, it's more so that they are a club that is for influential women within the city, and since you do not have the status that they do, you would not probably be welcome unless, of course, Cain rises from the dead and you reconsider the marriage arrangement.
I mean, I do have some status because of my family name.
Do you have a governor's wife status?
Probably not.
Either way, they're probably assholes. Most rich people are. So, you're probably better off with us.
I mean, I guess so, but the poor don't tend to get much done, so...
I just look at Olana as if to communicate, I've been dealing with this for a while. This is what I've been dealing with.
Olana goes on to spend the next 15 minutes having a conversation with you about how the poor are the only people who get
Oh,
no. It's a spirited way, but in a way that she's like, I'm talking to a child.
Yeah.
I should explain life. And so she does so. We'll see if you put any of that in your brain after a little bit. But while that's happening, we'll head over to Soren, who has made his way to the Chipside Library. And you have searched for all the books you'd like to search for. And what are those?
Let me pull that up.
I know that you talked about a few things. Some of them aren't going to be available.
So yeah, so the first thing I think probably the most likely is just looking for like historical records on Saint Benedict's.
Okay.
Like the names of the figures involved.
Sure. You find we'll call that what are those newspaper negatives? What is that? That's got a name.
Microfiche.
Microfiche. Yeah. You find essentially semi-magical microfiche on little crystals that pops in and essentially gives you like an illusion of that. One of the few low-level magic amenities that are allowed in public spaces. So you find that.
Okay. And then I'm going to look and see if I can find anything about black paragons.
Okay. You find a collection of things that you think might give you some information on this. Anything else?
Hollow people?
Definitely
Like
not.
Jer mentioned. Okay. Any mention of like old gods, elder gods, gods that predated the most recent ones?
Gods that predated the most recent ones. There would be. You might be. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Geez, that's a 12.
A 12 total with your mod.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say it's nothing you don't already know at this point. That'd be more of a. You need a more scholarly space, probably, for some of the deeper cut stuff that you're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, most of it that you look through as you're trying to find a collection of these books, you have like a little cart with you. Yeah. Doesn't really offer any of the deeper knowledge. It's sort of layman to you. But you do get the microfiche that you can look through in regards to Saint Benedict's that we can do first. So you sit down at this. It's in a back area of the library, and it's sort of cordoned off, and you have like a little booth, and you have like a little thing that you pull over the back of your head, and you start clicking through. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
That was a 10. I'm gonna assume that.
A 10.
Fail and use my talisman.
You may use your talisman.
So I'm going to tap into that to add 4. So
Okay.
14.
So you start going through these different files, and you find yourself again focusing on the talisman. And there's like part of you that's looking, but part of you that's almost like Luke. Feel it, don't look for it. There's almost like an aspect of you that ends up in spaces on this microfiche that luck. This medallion must be doing something. Maybe you're prone to believe it is. And you find St. Benedict's Home for Wayward Boys was run by Saint Angus Benedict, a saint that was anointed such about 50 years ago by another saint called Saint Nero, Nero. Which you can make a history check about.
Uh, 12.
Okay. You've heard the name associated with this city, but you can't quite place why. Like, it sounds familiar enough to maybe it's come up before.
Okay.
Saint Benedict was tasked with housing orphans and raising new generations of worshippers. In the aftermath of the moon crash, it was clear over the time that the gods were truly dead. and in their absence, essentially, the church started getting reports pretty quick, it looks like, and there was like a big to-do about like the whole thing. Ink was just young, so it's probably why she grew up hearing stories about this, because it was like a social event that like, oh, this guy is abusing boys and stuff, and there's a whole thing about that, but it came out because well, everyone died. The articles skip past this St. Benedict's and sort of go into other realms as you see the story sort of evolves and talks about the broader problem of like the gifts of like the gods are being rescinded from people. They become normal men when they used to be these clerics that used to have all these abilities. There's stories of problems within all, not all churches, but church in general, like religion, organized religion specifically, gets a little bit of a less than stellar PR shift in the absence of their abilities to heal people, coupling that with all of these people like forced to lose their faith. It'd be like if Christopher Hitchens was able to undo all their beliefs and Hitch slapped them all.
Has anyone ever talked about how much of a chud he would be if he was still alive?
I have. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if that means
super-
anybody, but yeah.
He would be so
Oh,
bad.
yeah, let him. I'm glad he died early. So
He and Jordan Peterson would have gone on tour together. It would
Jordan
have been so
Peterson.
bad.
maybe not. He's too religious. There are many tragic, amazing, and unbelievable stories from this time. There's a story of a woman who claimed she gave birth at the moment of the moon crash and her baby disappeared. There are compendiums of interviews of the attack by Zelidek's army, which swept across the world. It's not only Khador that experienced this. Each major city, in fact, at the time, faced some aspect of a force. Reports are that Khador got the focus of the attack, but had time to prepare, unlike the other side of the world that didn't really have as much going on. Many of the heroes of that age died in that fight on other parts of the world, and on Khador as well, but obviously there's the famous heroes you know.
We probably should have warned other people.
Yeah.
On other parts. That would have been a good idea.
I didn't know other continents really how to get in touch. So.
As you read through, and this is the last thing I think we'll leave off with that check. You're actually astounded by how many peculiar cases there are in Evan Falls specifically. Since the moon crash in this city, there's been hundreds of stories, urban legends, and myths that have come out of this place that just based on your travels seems high. That's totally anecdotal, but it just seems like a lot. And you don't know how to really put that into perspective necessarily, but you get the feeling that this place is particularly touched by the events of the moon crash. I mean, obviously there's a crack in the city, but
Okay. Am I able to find Barnaby's last name? I think we only got that it started with a T.
you don't see any information on that. But as you continue to read, Isaac, we're back. Petite fours on my Google there. As you make your way to one of those locations, which one would you like to go to?
First off, I just kind of want to walk around outside. Just kind of like get a lay of the area better, because I've never been over here before. So.
Okay, which location? Because they're all...
Oh, yeah. I'll probably start with the closest one.
Okay, so the closest one to you would be the Dock View Apartments. So it's east of the Chip Market. Not very far. You have to walk across the bridge and then just basically keep going. It is a dock area. There's lots of access to the river on the east side of the city. There are cheap apartments that live very near the industrial park, essentially. We all probably know somebody in a place with a shitty apartment and it's loud because there's some sort of fucking construction nearby. This is the case. You see the Dockview Apartments. It is a gray apartment building, and they have basically you can walk up in the middle, and there's like 4 units. One on the ground floor to the left and right, and then one on the second floor to the left and right. And on the backs of those, they have like balconies. It is essentially every apartment complex you've ever been to in real life. But next to the dock areas, it's not a very as you walk around, there's not a lot of people that own vehicles here, although that isn't super ubiquitous at the time. There's not a, I mean, it's impoverished here. You see signs of disrepair, not just the building, but the public space around it, like the road. It's used very heavily in shipping, so things like crack and break apart. Kids don't play on the front; they play in a little like sandy, just like crabgrass in the back. That you can hear kids playing in the back, and you can see some parents smoking off the back of their balcony, talking and watching the kids, sort of. But you walk up, and apartment number 13 means it's the third apartment in the 10th complex, and you sort of figure out the system. It takes you a second to walk around, but you find it. And what do? The apartment is there.
Okay.
This is just the mom's apartment of Gonis.
Yeah.
Her name is Haldi,
Okay.
according to your information.
Guess I just know.
Okay, so you knock. And after some moments, the door shifts and is pulled open, and then there's like a chain lock that keeps it. And you see the face of a human woman. She's sort of got like sandy blonde hair. She's very, very thin, and she's you can smell the waft of cigarettes and halfling root. And she peeks her head out. Who are you?
Hi, the name is Isaac Baines. I'm kind of a private investigator for this area, taking a look into some disappearances, I guess.
You with the fucking cops?
Absolutely not. Despise them, actually.
Go and roll a persuasion check with advantage. Cause fuck the cops.
Cause fuck the cops. Yeah, it's 19.
Okay. She shuts the door, undoes the chain, opens it up, looks at you.
That makes sense.
Okay,
It was Haldi, you said?
Haldi. She gives you an insight check to detect stranger danger on you.
Fair enough.
And she does quite well. I think she's safe. She opens the door and lets you in instead of walking out. You can tell she gives like a thought to like, we'll have this discussion out on the porch, or we'll let you in. She lets you in. It's a small 1-bedroom apartment. You can see that her bed is probably in the living room, and the bedroom is for the kid, for Gonis. But it has a small like kitchen space. There's a small like living room. And it has a window that's got the the shades that you like spin the thing and they all like sort of go like this. But if you went like that, they'd all like individually terrible blinds. Hate them. They're the worst. She sits down at the little like breakfast table that has 2 chairs and a bunch of mail stacked up. And she sort of moves it and brings the ashtray out and sort of lights up half of a cigarette that she had put out and lights it back up. And you don't mind if I smoke, do you?
It's totally fine.
You want one? And she
Oh,
sort of
thank you.
offers you a smoke. Okay. And she sets it down. And she also, can I get you anything?
No, I'll be all right.
Okay. She sort of goes into her fridge and I guess a fridge. She goes into essentially a cold-ish box that doesn't have. They don't allow the gems that power those anymore because they are arcane focuses and they can be used in spellcasting. Sort of like how they sell Sudafed now. They don't really allow people to just buy that shit anymore. And so, something that works a little bit like that. And she grabs a drink that's tepid, not cold, and she pops it open. It's like a beer. And you can tell she's uncomfortable and trying to stall the conversation. But nonetheless, you get to the point where she basically, what are you asking?
Well, honestly, I would just like to hear your side of the story, personally.
Well, I mean,
Hear it from you than the cops. So,
yeah, I wish I could give you a
well,
good
just
story. Gonus was hanging out with the kids that he hangs out with near the docks. And they told me, and I went down and asked them. I'm so mad at those fucking kids. I went down and asked them, and I'm begging them, right? Like, hey, what happened? And, I mean, they gave me the same answer they gave the cops, apparently. He was here one second, gone another. They didn't... I don't really know. He was helping out a bit around the house. He's trying to make some money. I don't know. Maybe he got himself into something. I don't
helping out
know.
around the house.
He's helping out around the house. He was trying, the apartment.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant someone else's.
No. He's a good kid. And his deadbeat ass father.
His friends. Where do they live around here?
I don't know where his friends live. And she sort of points out the window, and you see, past that patch, out past the back of the apartment, eventually there's some docks. She goes, down there, there's sort of it's essentially like an overhang that has an under, sort of like cubby space. It's essentially like an overpass, underpass situation, but there's like a building up on top of it instead of a road. And the kids hang out underneath there, and they sort of have a barrel, and they drink there. Basically, is what she explains. And she's like, I don't mind if he has a couple drinks. I can. It's never been a problem before. He's turned into a young man, and my parents were helicopter parents, and
Mine too. I get it.
helicopters aren't things. They were bird parents,
Airship parents.
airship parents, and I'm sorry. That's really all I know. You can see she's trying to hold it together. And at a certain point, you start seeing that although she is holding it together, her eyes are welling up. She's going through cigarettes. She's smoked about 3 in the little bit of time that you've been here. Clearly stressed out by the situation. Probably hasn't slept a wink. He's been gone for, You read that before you left for almost 5 days.
Yeah.
It's a week.
Well, I know you're by the docks. It makes things a bit easier. I'll leave you to it. I think I'll be all right.
All right, and Mr. Benz, do you have like a card or anything?
No, but I'll just like write down our address really quick.
Okay. She
If
takes
you
it.
Think of something, just send something here.
All right, thank you. She sets it down. And you head out?
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, you are enjoying a beautiful piano performance by the grand piano that's out on the that sort of patio area. I said that open air, and there's some people eating lunch out there. It's starting to get a little bit more busy, but you and Olana are feeling warm in the cheeks, and the food has been good, and you have been people watching like a motherfucker. I mean, there is some social customs here that you have not like really dealt with. People here are much more open with that, and there's like a social cattiness of like this game that people play with each other, of like being sort of shitty, but like they both know they're being shitty, but like with a smile, right? And so there's like that. While these two are the realest fucking people here, listening to some beautiful music. What do you want to do? You still see those women over there having conversations. You still know. I mean, at this point, you're not drunk, but you're getting happy, and you're getting a little more courage to do whatever it is you think you might be wanting to do.
Is there a restroom somewhere, and is it anywhere near where the room is where the people's coats and stuff are?
Yeah, there is a restroom. It is across the hall from the coats. So you walk down a hall, and then there's a left towards the coats and a right towards the restrooms. But at the back of that is, it's essentially like a T section. At the back is a little employee cubby where an employee stands and is willing to help people. It's essentially the coat person that is responsible for all of these.
And he's further down the hall from the... Okay.
About 10 feet. And then behind him is like a door, like some sort of administrative or managerial space, maybe a break room.
Olana, I was going to maybe check out the courtroom. Did you want to maybe help me distract I'll kind of point towards where the guy is.
She takes another sip and sips down. What kind of distraction are you thinking? Should I try to seduce him? Should I try to...
In that, I do not think it will be difficult.
Well, I don't know what he likes.
I think it is worth a shot, if you can think of something
I know what
else.
most men like.
Do whatever you think is best, as long as I have some time to look through some things and we split.
You want in on this?
No.
I have an idea. And she gets up and she takes her drink over and she sort of just walks. And you see, as she does, she takes a sip and goes and flicks the shoulder of like the strap down on the left side. And she walks over and she looks back and she goes, "Oh, I am just so drunk." And she turns back and starts to roll a performance check. Or a deception check, I guess.
Y'all are going to get us kicked out.
Nat 20. She walks over and I was like, "Hey, can you help me with something?" And she starts talking, and you can see she starts leaning over towards the left and drawing his vision, or I guess to her right, drawing his vision, and trying desperately to get him to look at her and be a little distracted. So let's see if his insight check can surpass her tremendous deception. Doesn't seem like the case, as all you need to do is roll me a stealth check to get into the coat room.
Um, 12?
12 is enough to get by him. You don't know if anybody else caught you as you slip in real quick. Now, I will say, for the sake of this, people come in and out of this place regularly. So every round that you're in here, I'm going to roll to see what happens.
Okay.
So, what would you like to do as you go into the coat room for the first time?
Just real quick assessment. Are there any furs or anything that immediately
I'm assuming
looks
you have your
expensive?
thieves' tools and stuff
Yes.
with you. As you click it off of your thigh and bring them out. You're looking for to see like if any of them have stuff in them.
Yeah, I'm gonna check for that, or if there are any pockets, bags, jewelry that anyone left in anything.
Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Okay.
I'll take you to one nice brunch, and you're already robbing.
This is a nice brunch. How dare you?
I thought you were the agent of chaos.
Apparently not.
18.
You just put
18?
Chinese in front of her, and she loses her mind.
We're still having a nice brunch. Fuck you.
I mean, she is a cat.
Okay, so
True.
just the coats. There's the lockers. Essentially, they're like safety deposit boxes on the wall that have locks, but they're not like amazing locks in your opinion. Through the coats, I'll say that you, an 18. What's that total? Total's 18.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a d20.
Just a straight D20.
Yep. No modifiers. It's just like a luck thing.
4.
Okay, 4. Okay. yeah. I'll say, in the coats, you don't find much in the coats, but you basically go through and clean out what you can in the coats, and you come away with this collection.
Cool.
Now, that's the end of that round. Do you want to do anything in the?
So there's coats. Do I see anything else around me other than the coats?
This is like a field
There's the
day.
coats. There's the basically safety deposit boxes that are like the lockers that are provided here. Now you don't know which ones are which, but you do know which ones are the biggest. There's the two at the bottom are the biggest, and then there's a bunch of little ones above.
I'll
Like
go
maybe
for one
30.
of the ones at the bottom.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me first of all a stealth check again, because you're just to make noise and stuff.
Oh, that's really good. 25.
Okay. And I rolled to see what would happen on this turn. So you start working on one of those. I'll take that bag back of you. You start working on one of those. Go ahead and roll me a lockpicking check, a sleight of hand, well, dexterity plus proficiency for you.
14.
14 on the lock.
Yes.
You're and you can't quite get the lock. It's like right there. It's close enough to where you can retry it, but if you fail, it's going to make a noise. You're going to have to roll a stealth check with disadvantage.
We're doing it.
Okay.
Oh, yes. 23.
23.
Why are you looking at me like this? What have I done? You're not even in this scene.
I think it's really funny watching someone play a rogue for the first time, because I
It
really...
is fun. Okay.
We watched Arian do the exact same thing. Every time someone plays a rook for the first time, it's so fun.
Okay, so here's what happens. You go in there and you pull out
Oh?
a box. Okay.
Oh boy.
It
This
looks-
is the worst part because it creates a positive feedback.
This
Every time
Yeah.
you succeed at stealing something, it gets worse.
this box is
Still not as bad as setting a guy's stall on fire.
also locked
I-
within the lockbox.
Okay.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It is not a very big box, but it slots in. And it pulls out and it has like a little lock on the inside of it. That doesn't seem like it's part of the property here. It seems like a separate box that has something valuable in it. And you see on the top of it, it says Smoo. Roll a history check.
Smooth.
Smoo.
Just a regular history
Yeah.
check. 20.
Wow. So you are the wrong thing. You are familiar enough with this because you live in the city. This is a brand of jewelry store.
Oh.
Every smooch begins with Smoo.
Oh my
Fuck
fucking
off.
god. I hate you. That's the
I'm
worst
quitting.
thing. Did you just make that up off the top
They
of your
have
head?
little jingles. Every smooch begins with Smoo. And
quit.
Smoo himself.
Okay.
And Smoo himself.
Oh,
Creamy.
fuck me.
There's a bog rat to cheer you on.
Ellie, slit my throat.
Slips. Put me out.
Probably be easier just to have her lay across your throat and just crush the
Lay
Yeah.
across.
Oh, she already does that when she sits on my chest.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, she is a
Ellie.
heavy lass.
Can you lift your
Okay,
chin?
you find
Just getting pissed.
Airlift the baby.
several valuable
You gotta
things
lift up your
within.
legs, not your back.
I can't
About to
believe.
walk out of here rich.
I can't believe it.
Jesus.
Not that.
We should go out to brunch more often.
Oh my god.
Uh.
Day.
Okay.
Oh, other way.
You can hear someone on the way. You can hear like, "Oh yeah, I've been here before. I'm so excited to show you." And then like, there's this clearly like superficial relationship happening, and then you can hear them talking to Alana. Or her talking to them, like, just give me a minute with my boy toy. And there's like a scoffing thing. And so you just grab and
Yeah.
walk away and shut it and put it back and you just relock it and then walk out.
Okay.
It's got heft to it. There's a bit of that to it. And you get back to the table. Alana comes back. And we'll revisit what you get
Oh boy.
in a second so I can write this down. And while we do, we go back over to Soren. Soren, you have continued to read. Do you want to try to get more information about like the goings on in the city, or do you like that you were going on, like following that thread, or do you want to go to the Black Paragon?
I think I actually want to pivot to just see if there's like collections of these new stories, urban legends, everything that's kind of cropped up. Just
Kind of
Get a
like
grip on-
for her.
More just for
Or
myself,
for
out of
yourself,
curiosity, just
okay.
to see kind of what's been going on in the city.
Collections. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
It's like my third 6 so far. So 12.
Okay. You're looking for basically a collection of peculiar stories from the town.
Yeah.
There is with a 12. Also, you can't find any books on it in the library, but when you talk to the librarian, he is quite sure that if you look at some local bookstores, you'll find something in that realm. But this library doesn't have as many local fiction books.
Okay. I think I'll probably just go back and then pick up where I left off on the microfiche.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and roll another investigation check as you do that. Another 12? That's
Yeah,
like
I had
4
to use my
12s.
talisman.
What the fuck?
Dude, I rolled a 3 this time.
Okay, I'll say there is mention of the story of Dawn Lord Hamish. But you don't find the story. There's just a passing reference to it in another story.
Okay.
And I guess for that roll, there's not much else I
Yeah,
can
that's
give you
fair.
on that topic.
Okay. If it feels like I'm starting to spin my wheels, I'll probably switch to the Black Paragon then.
Okay. We'll head back to Ink for just a second, so you can look at your spoils. You get this and this, which is the first thing you pull out of there is a small leather band that is it has like a channel that runs through it, almost like a glass tube in between the weave, but it doesn't seem to like break or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bracelet, and it is needs to be identified, but it is pretty cool.
That's really cool. It is attunement. Okay.
Yeah, it is attunement. Try not to. The ink might be a little
Yeah, it's a little
wet so
smeary.
far, so just try to.
It's leather based.
Yeah,
I'll
let it
be
dry.
careful
But
with
you also find in there
Ooh.
All right.
many small gems and a key.
Interesting.
So, Isaac,
Was it just real quick? The
Yeah.
ring that I found. This is just a mundane ring.
it's
right?
a mundane,
Okay.
mundane ring. The key, on the other hand, does not seem very mundane.
Interesting.
Isaac, where do you head?
What time of day is it?
Daytime, just like midday.
Okay. Lunchtime?
Sure.
Is there like a diner around here? Like
In the
this
dock area or in one of the other areas?
In this area kind of close by?
There's more like bars that sell food.
That works.
Okay, so you head into one of the bars that It's like got like 4 people in here. It's a daytime bar. It's sort of got that black sticky bar seats and there's a bartender in there, just an older guy with a flannel shirt. Looks at you. Normal shit in the back. Pool table. There's one guy breaking pool. What do you want to do?
Hello, can I just get something like a beer and maybe something to eat?
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll cost a gold.
Okay.
And basically you get like a burger, some fries, and a nice beer as you sit down.
Okay.
As you, no one really bothers you. It doesn't take long. No one else really ordered food. The food's fine. Is Isaac a burger enjoyer?
It's me. It's like me.
Yeah, so you eat part of the burger. You cut it in half and and eat it.
So this bar is like pretty close to like where all this stuff happened.
Not all the stuff, just the Dockview Apartments area. The other places are a little further away from here, but you know, it's one of the neighborhoods. Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing a little looking around here. Have you heard about the missing children?
Yeah, all of them.
Heard anything that sounded weird, other than the fact they're missing, of course.
Signs are missing. Let me see. Guess I dropped something. He goes, yeah, actually. You know, I sent this in to the Silvers when they came around asking for stuff, but I don't know if they followed up.
Not surprised.
One of the kids, I forget what his name was, the hob boy. He came in here trying to sell me drugs once.
Really?
Moondust. No, I don't fuck with that stuff anymore. Maybe when I was younger, I would have, but yeah, I'm not. Well, I'm not a young man anymore. Roll an inside check.
So much. 11?
11. You're not sure this guy doesn't do Moondust.
Fair enough. Interesting. Well, that could. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate that information.
of course. Anything else I can do for you?
That'll be it. Thank you.
Okay. And you head out in what direction?
Actually, I'm gonna go towards the Hobgoblin place.
Okay.
The bridge, the square bridge, bodega. Bodega. That's what it is.
The Zephyr Square Bodega.
Yep, that one.
Zephyr Square is
What?
exactly. It is near the train. Near the train. The train is called the Zephyr. So this is the area of town that's basically around the train station. They call it Zephyr Square. It's not really an official thing, but around there is a series of businesses because, of course, you saw this place when you came by. You got a cab, and behind where you got the cab, where she picked you up and your life started here, behind there is a series of businesses, and one of them is a bodega with yellow signs on it. It is called Food Spot, and you can get food there. It's like a gas station. It's like a 7-Eleven without a gas station. And you head in. There's like a ding 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 ding, and you walk in, and there's the tight spaces. You kind of got to turn to the side a little bit to walk down the aisles of the many different items that are up in there. It smells like something, and inside of it, you hear, I don't know if any of these songs are going to Oppressive Gloom. That's not what you hear. I don't know, dude.
The gloom just follows him everywhere.
Just the gloom fucking follows him.
Like
Well, it's probably a
cloud.
shitty capitalist job, so yeah, it would be pretty gloomy in
I
there.
don't know what's happening. It's just...
The sounds of people peeing in bottles in the distance.
peeing in bottles. Let's say you go to Cherish Times. Anyway, you hear in there some sort of stringy... I guess you would interpret it as ethnic music because it's not from your ethnicity. It sounds a bit just stringy, I guess. And it's playing over a record player in there. And inside you see some 40-something, maybe 50-something hob folk. With their deep reddened skin and their sharp noses and prodigious eyebrows that mark basically everybody. Like Ben Shapiro has weak eyebrows if he was from this race. He would be a blight upon his family name. Much unlike now. Sort of balding. And you see a man there that just looks at you, just acknowledges that you're in the store as you sort of look around it, and sits behind a desk with a glass divider in front of it and a little window for it. And he sits behind this little, like, basically a thing that blows air at him. It's like an automatic sort of weighted sort of fan. And he just sits there reading the newspaper that you bought this morning. And he reads it and sort of sips on something and just listens to the music and lets you browse without bothering you.
Yeah,
You're the millionth customer that's come through here in his life.
gonna browse for a bit, grab a couple random things that literally random,
Okay.
and just.
Sure.
So I'm like spending money in his business.
Go ahead and
while
roll
also-
an investigation check. You don't frequent bodegas. We'll see what you come away with.
God, it's so high.
It's high? Oh,
It's
good. You
so
get some of the
high.
good stuff.
It's a 26.
Sure. Okay, so you load yourself up with some sort of blue drink. It's called Blue. And you this actually, you remember when this came out when you were a kid?
We brought this into this world.
We've polluted the timeline.
And you find what you definitely identify as like sort of a rip-off brand. It's called Really Small Tacos. And you get them from what would essentially be the freezer section here. And so you bring those up and you pay for them.
Pictures of the keepers of eight.
Again, just a gold to get through these.
Professors.
The cost of a
many
mirror.
tacos.
And that'll be. And he says that'll be one mirror total. And you give him the cost of a mirror, which is the normal. It's 1 gold. Everyone knows that. It's referenced earlier.
Oh.
Thank you for sticking around. And you get these things, and he bags it up for you and gives you change if you need it. And he says, "All right, have a good day."
I'm a private investigator, and I'm kind of looking into the missing kids cases around here. I was wondering if I could ask you a couple questions. I heard one of them went missing around here or was from here.
Wow. Okay. He stops for a moment.
I am not a cop, for the record. Do not like them.
You will not get advantage the second time, my friend. As he closes the newspaper and folds it and sets it forward, and then looks at you, and he's gonna make an insight check.
You're sussy wussy.
Always sus.
Well, I mean, you're asking about his missing kid, right? He's
Yeah.
not gonna not pat you down
Right.
ocular. He looks at you, and you can tell he doesn't want to engage in a long conversation because he doesn't get up and like invite you in, but he leans forward, and you get the social understanding that like You have enough time until I get interrupted by somebody else, and then this is what I have for you because he doesn't trust just a guy. So
I
Why
wouldn't
is this
either.
cat?
yeah, she's the way she is. He sort of clears his throat. Well, why was she like that?
She has separation anxiety, I
But
think.
we're down.
But she did it to herself.
She might be looking for her brother.
You go ahead and ask your questions, basically, is what the body language is.
What? Do you know where it happened at? Around where it would normally happen, where he would normally like hang out at?
Sort of looks at you, and he goes, Zundu was a bit of a problem child. Had some issues in school for a bit. Ended up dropping out and working here, helping out. We welcomed it, to be honest. He was around more, off the streets less often, and it seemed to help. I got to take a couple days off, and we seemed to start making a little bit more money around here, which is interesting. But he's got a knack for it, I guess. Father's son, huh? And well, I don't know when it happened, but he went out and didn't come back.
Did you talk to anybody about it? Besides the
Well, the
cops,
Silvers,
of course.
no.
I'm
Well,
just,
I mean,
like in general, you know how people
well,
talk.
yes, our friends and things like that we looked for, and we're still waiting. I don't know. He had some friends, but we didn't know them very well. They would come by from time to time. He would get visited by people, but I did not know their names very well.
Seems weird.
I guess. He's a teenager. I'm still hoping he just shows up, you know. I mean, he's only been gone for... This is the last one to get taken. About... Again, like 4 or 5 days.
So he's been missing for that long.
Yeah, the others have been missing for a little bit longer.
Okay.
This is just the third one. On the back of many others prior. Like, this has been like a problem. But these are just this recent 3 happened. Bam, bam, bam. Some other people walk in, 2 of them. Ding, ding, ding. And they, just seem a little interested in who you are. You look a little bit different than people that normally are hanging out
Ocular
here.
pad down.
You're giving them an ocular pad?
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead and roll
It's
it.
like a, you know, like when someone walks
Investigation to see their physicality, insight to suss their brains.
Into okay, well, insight is tough, and investigation is a 10. I rolled a 3 twice. Insight is 6.
Okay.
Wow.
They just seem like fellas.
Dudes being bros.
Excuse me, bros.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just guys hanging out.
Thank you for your time, and I'm just gonna walk out.
You walk out and you go to your box of very small tacos, and you take a bite of one of them, and it's like cold and bad. I guess you're supposed to heat these up or something. You sort of read the box. An oven. Okay. An oven. Do you want to try blue?
Yeah.
You try some blue. It's the sweetest thing you've ever had in your life. By a lot. It's like pure sugar. You take a second sip. Intuitively, it tastes like blue. It really does taste like the color blue. It's really strange. And so you head out
Can't describe it.
on the way. to your next location. Soren, you are still searching through the library, and this time you're moving towards Black Paragons. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
New die. 16?
Not a bad one. You don't find the name Black Paragon, but you do learn about paragons. Paragons are perfect, huge, arcane crystals mined from the depths of the planet. Historically, the dwarves of Minehelm on Kadur were the first to uncover such a thing, and that's according to historical record that's well documented. But the most peculiar thing about paragons is that the dwarves did not cut them. They were found cut.
Sussy.
A fact of the world and a mystery that no scientist or archmage has ever found an answer to. Paragons amplify the magics channeled into them and have been used for generations to power massive feats of arcane ingenuity. The dwarves themselves use the first paragon as a drill bit to dig deeper into the shell of the world before any other. Since the moon crash and magic's slow death, study of these objects has also slowed, and the paragons themselves have slipped into relative obscurity, likely hidden away by the powers that be in an effort to prevent another incident. It is widely reported that the paragons had direct involvement in the war against the endless hunger. Due to the potential for abuse by less scrupulous practitioners of magic, they are highly illegal objects in most places, not to mention the danger in keeping such a valuable thing in general provides risk to anyone who's holding them. With a 16, you continue to learn. It's not in the body of the text that you learn this, but rather the work cited at the end that catches your attention. A portion of the paragon information in this book is cited from another source. And that source, one of many, but this is the one that sticks out to you, is a tome called On the Origin of Paragons by Dr. Figman Shine. You, with a 16, follow up on Figman Shine, discovering that he hasn't been seen since the moon crash, so it's assumed that he was lost in it like so many others. On the Origin of Paragons is banned in the Asari domain. You'd have to visit another country for it, or find a way to get it smuggled over the border to you from a supplier of illegal books or something.
I appreciate that the dwarves first thought when they saw the paragon was, I bet we could drill deeper with this.
The classic dwarven tale of we
They
dug pretty deep,
into
but what if we dug
greedily
deeper
into the mountain?
and killed Gandalf on accident
Yeah, you
through
summoned
our
the
own
Balrog.
hubris?
I know that part. You shall not pass.
You shall not pass.
Yeah,
Great movies. So,
haven't seen them.
is there anything else you would like? Is there anything else you'd like to do at the library?
I must. Yeah, you said it was banned, so I can't find that one.
It
so
is
I'm-
banned. It's the Anarchist Cookbook
Legal
for mages.
bookstore.
I'm just going to grab the books for Isabella.
Sure.
So I'm gonna try and find like a collection of like what would be Slavic folk tales, like
Sure.
Rzulka and the Strigoi and those things.
I'll say you find it.
And then I think what Soren thinks she needs most is gonna be like a book of like fables that teach the dangers of not being cautious and being too overzealous and jumping in.
Okay, so lots of kids go into the woods and get eaten by a witch kind of shit.
Yeah.
She loves that kind of stuff. So, though the DM does not think she will learn many lessons from this, Soren is trying. So,
I still very much enjoy the tales.
she sure does. So you do
They
so.
are about eating people.
You gather those books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ladies, we get back to you as you enjoy a little bit towards the end of your time here, if you'd like it to be. The brunch has been going on for about an hour or so.
I was gonna ask,
Go ahead.
while they're off stealing things,
Yeah.
does it look like, okay, is this more like a restaurant where people seem to be cordoned off at individual tables, or does there seem to be a sort of central socialization area, like maybe chairs or some sort of open plan where people kind of
What
go...
it more is people will visit each other's tables.
Okay.
There's not like a bar. It's and
Yeah, there's no,
restaurant
like, communal
strong.
space.
It's a tea house. They serve little food here, but it's not like a bustling kitchen.
Yeah.
This is for drinks and for social business.
Is there anyone here alone?
You?
Just me?
I'll say there's one other. There's a woman on the patio alone listening to the piano. She has a long stem cigarette. She looks quite wealthy. She has pearls in her ear. She seems a little older. And the thing you notice about her most, amongst all these other women, is that she is, besides yourselves, one of the only people that you've seen without any sort of wedding ring, although she does wear several rings. Specifically, her wedding ring finger is quite bare. On purpose, it seems.
I'm fascinated. I'm walking over.
Okay, you walk over, and she is in like a burgundy sort of coat. It's a little bit chilly around the edge here, and it has these fuzzies that go along the sides, and the smoke of her cigarette sort of trails up before the wind catches it and moves it away. And she has a glass of deep red burgundy wine, and she sips it, and you can see her lipstick has stained the glass, and she sets it down. She reminds you of your mother in a little bit of ways, but she quickly disarms that. It's more of a visual thing, like her mannerisms. So she's clearly had some sort of like etiquette in her life. She's been money for a while. Mm-hmm. But when she looks at you, she sort of gives you a cocked eyebrow as you approach her.
Mm-hmm.
And do you just sit down?
I will do a little polite curtsy and then sit down next to her. Good evening, or good
It's
morning.
afternoon,
Sorry.
yeah. Welcome to the tea house. I've not seen you before.
It's my first time here.
Just married in, I see.
Oh, not married in, but just moved.
Oh, so we are a independent woman.
I don't know if I would say that. Just my marriage plans fell through.
Well, why do you approach this table?
Well, you were the only other person here alone, so I figured you wouldn't mind if I come enjoy the piano with you.
She can roll very well on that. She did an insight check on you. I see. I'm in no need of company for the night.
What do you mean?
Oh, I don't want to be embarrassing. Although I have had some adventures in my days, I am well past that for the day.
I'm not really sure what you're alluding to.
You really don't know what I'm talking about. Fantastic.
No?
Well, what's your name?
Isabella Baines.
Ah,
Oh, hold on.
Beatrix.
So have you been here often?
Are you really sure you're not trying to pick me up?
You mean like lift you?
I do come here often, actually, yes.
No, I'm just new and don't know anyone here. It's a bit off-putting. So,
What's off-putting?
not feeling grounded, I guess. Not knowing anyone around you. Or I guess the important people.
I see. As Olana and Ink get back to the table, sort of giggling to each other, and you hear, psh, like a little sack of like
I'm not concerned
glassy
about stuff. I'm
objects.
just hoping, please don't be idiots and get caught.
Okay. And you start giggling back and forth as you see your winnings. And she sits and talks with you for a moment. Is there anything else you'd like to specifically talk to her about?
I guess I'd ask her how long she's kind of come here and like.
Oh, for years on and off. I used to come here back when I was married, but nowadays sometimes I just like the well, the people watching is excellent here, but also the view. And she looks out over the city, and she sips her drink, and you look over the city, and it's beautiful. This doesn't have a direct view of the crack. It looks over the north and the and east part of the city, so you can see sprawling blue rooftops with white homes, and then you can see at the northern part the multiple sort of. It's almost like a star shape on the wall of the military, I guess, apparatus of the city where they built. And you can see the airship port that has a single airship in it right now. You know that airships used to be more common in the time before, but obviously they're heavily magic. And also, a lot of them just got fucking broken during that time.
So you also like to people watch?
Oh, yes.
I find myself doing it a lot.
Oh, yes. People are, how do you say, fascinating biological creatures.
I would agree.
They I mean, you look over here, and she sort of points this way, and you sort of lean, and you have like a not a better view, but a different view of that table of women that you've been looking at, and she points out like the sort of like power involved. Like Governor Giazana's wife has the most power. She's like the head of the wives club. Then it's relatively reflected by well, the four of them, their husbands, and then one of them, their wife. But it's also just like the game they play, like socially, like it goes back and forth, and you can see that there's like barbs and wit, and there's part of the social game is to banter. You don't know why this is. They seem bored. They seem bored with their opulent life, and they play at things. you do hear Rabisi Giazana, the wife of the governor. I see business is the low city is going well. Surely you're going to clean up those filthy streets with some of it, Linda. Create a few menial jobs or something. The tone of this does not sit well at the table. It gets a little quiet at the jab because it feels like it's a little strong. The woman changes focus as to not pick at the tension. You know, Cabrisi talked to those parents as well, but I don't know what they expect him to do. That's the work for his silver, Captain, is it not? And you gain that Governor Giazana's first name is Cabrisi. Or I'm sorry, Cabral. She looks in the direction of Rianne, Captain Koski's wife, who replies, you know, Beryl had to spend hours talking to those hysterical families. Hours, the poor thing. It's terrible, of course, that those children went missing, but from what he tells me, they were more local hoods than boys, really. One of them even had an arrest on his record. And look, I'm not saying don't go looking for who did it. What I am saying is that sometimes these things happen. And it's not like we can totally hand-wave the decision that those boys made that led them to disappear. Several of the women nod in agreement and sip tea. If you'd like to hear more, you would have to make a perception check.
I don't think so for now. Actually, I want to ask, what was her, did I ask her name?
Beatrix.
Beatrix. Let me write that down. Miss Beatrix, if you don't mind me asking, what happened to your, husband?
He died.
Of, what was the cause?
Oh.
Oh.
I married for the money.
This makes sense.
Of course it makes sense.
So you married someone much older than you, and then just waited?
You see a little elven in her.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Smart.
Marry a human and take all his money.
As an elf, oh my god.
It's like a drop in the bucket, baby.
Yep, that's so fucking. You don't even have to try to die later. It just works every time. That's fucked.
Well, it was nice meeting you, but I should get back to my table.
Absolutely.
Perhaps I'll be here again sometime soon.
Be nice to have a good conversation now and then.
It would.
She nods
Get
you
up.
on your way, and she yells over to the piano man to play some different tune, and he does. And, you walk back to the table, and Olana is like, "Holy shit! I cannot believe that you fucking cleaned up like this." As you sit down,
I know, I cannot believe that they were who's holding jewels in a restaurant? Why would you
it
keep
was
bring-
in the fucking locker.
I
hope
guess,
that you
but
didn't
we'll
get
just-
caught unnoticed by anyone.
I am good at my job.
And you should probably put that away at the table.
A waiter comes by
Kind of puts
and goes, by the way, if you have jewels that need to be set, we have lockers over here. Or,
You know, I always feel safer with them on my person. I know, I know.
That's fine. A lot of people do that too. And then you go, who has stuff on? And then, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Perhaps we should head back home?
That sounds good. Maybe a quick trip to Esme's. Other than that, yes.
Okay, but you want to try something weird?
What's that?
You want to walk by the table and just see what happens? She points over to the women.
Walk by it.
We're not supposed to be in there. I wonder what happens if we go in there. She's a little tipsy. She doesn't give a fuck.
I would imagine that they would get upset.
Maybe fuck them.
I don't know if I want them to be upset, though.
All right.
I got what I came for. I do not care how they feel as long as I have their things.
Okay. As you're doing that, one last perception check to see if you get anything else from these people. We'll call it both of you.
12.
9.
12 and 9. Let's see. Sure, okay. You catch the end of a conversation as you sort of get up and grab your stuff and start to head out. It is the woman in the tux with the gold lips.
Battle.
Yeah,
Batel.
Batel. But she is the wife of Levon Batel. And she says, Levon has had to deal with counter-terrorism all month in preparation for the family's arrival. She's not very worried about it. Sure, the goblin hordes will make for easy sport if they show up. I just hope the ones that live here understand how good they have it. Don't make bad decisions. Rian Koski speaks up. You know, the Silvers are aware of the tensions, but it doesn't seem to be a pressing issue right now. Security of the cane shipment seems to be, you know, Beryl's top priority. Governor Giovanna's wife caps the conversation with, well, please let Levon know that the governor and I appreciate all her efforts to keep the savages out of civilization. We already have enough of those in Lowtown. Captain Koski spends his time protecting Halvian billionaire vanity projects. Rianne hits back with, well, somebody has to bring money into the city, not just waste it on parades for royals. There's again tension at the table for a moment, as Linder drinks her entire flute of sparkling drink, saying, and you seem to have missed the setup to this joke. But she says, how do you even please a dragon in bed? The table erupts with laughter as the women continue to drink bubbly brunch cocktails and nibbling on fruits and cheese.
Alright.
You would have really liked that setup. You should have rolled better. So,
Hey, maybe just tell us the joke next time.
had other information you didn't receive. So you end up heading out, down the lift to the main floor, and out into the rings. Isaac. You head to a new location. Any location in particular you'd like to visit on your search?
Well, I guess the last one
Okay.
would be the cane
The cane complexes.
complexes.
Oh, fuck.
I might just fucking burn it down. Who knows?
It's not the cane industrial plant, which is in the background. You do see
You should have let him free.
the cane industrial plant. It is a vast complex of machinery and black smoke and machines, and you hear all that. There's a train that comes down and goes on the outside of the city and pulls in. It is not near the warehouses where you are scoping out your next job, but or at least it's not within eyeshot. I guess it's near relative, but it isn't someplace that you can scope out unless you walk to it. You walk instead to the residential area, Cane Complex. You're looking for number 525. It's a very dense, essentially high-rise apartment provided by Cane Industrial to their employees. You make your way up to the 5th floor of the 6th floor building. And you knock on the door of 525. It is answered without someone checking, just opened really fast. You see a man in a blue Kane Industrial jumpsuit, like essentially like a denim from head to toe, but the top is zipped down and the things are the arms of it are wrapped around his midsection, and he has a white tank top on. A little overweight. He has the broken capillaries of an alcoholic in his nose and cheeks. A human man. He's definitely seems tired, and he looks at you and he goes, "Oh fuck, who are you?"
Well, my name is Isaac. I'm a private investigator. I've heard that the Silvers have been doing a horrible job infesting these.
You hear him set
children.
something heavy down next to the door.
And I'm wondering if you could be of assistance, so I can figure out where these kids went.
I don't know where that fucking kid went.
Well, where does he usually go?
You're still in the doorway. He hasn't let you in.
That's fine.
He takes a drink of his half-drunk beer, and he looks at you.
Got a shitty dad.
And he goes, I don't know, that kid got picked up by the Silvers a few weeks ago. I had to let him go, but the little motherfucker was seen throwing some shit into the water as he was running from the fucking Silvers. Last thing I fucking need around here. Okay? He's a fucking drug addict little bastard. It doesn't help out around here. He's getting cops fucking in trouble. Fucking whatever you are. Nose around in my fucking business.
Well, he's not in trouble with me. Making sure he gets home safe, which is probably something that should be on your priority list.
A little sass. A little. Let's see if he has the mental acuity to pick up the sass. Well, that 4 says he does not.
Good thing he's too dumb.
He's a little drunk, and it takes him. He's like too slow, and you start saying something else before he can register the insult that you sort of tossed out in his way. You can. You realize at this point that like you just are kind of interested in what's behind him and sort of looking at the situation. Go ahead and roll a perception check. As you are basically stalling him at his door. He's not letting you in, it doesn't seem.
11.
11? Okay. I'd say with an 11, you notice a pair of pretty new shoes, in like a kid's size, like a teenager size, where they're just a little small for an adult, but they're like pretty new, like think Jordans or whatever, like whatever the equivalent is in this space, just sitting next to the door. They look like the newest shoes there by a lot. There's other. It's like a dirt mat, and people kick their shoes off when they walk in. There's like old boots. There's a couple old shoes. There's a pair of old slippers. He's not wearing any shoes right now.
Yeah.
It seems like the hogs are out, and but those nice pair of shoes, which the kid isn't wearing, so it implies either to you
Birthday present.
that they're a birthday present. This place doesn't look. The dad doesn't seem like the birthday present type of guy. He probably bought those shoes. Maybe they were too nice to walk around in, or he didn't want people seeing him in them, or he has more pairs of nice shoes. There's lots of different possibilities here. But there's a pair of nice shoes there. And unless you want to talk to the dad anymore about anything, you sort of get the gist that he doesn't give a fuck if you find this kid. He just knows that he's was picked up by the police, doesn't really give a shit. This guy just got off the night shift. It's the end of his day, around noon. He's about to head to bed soon. He doesn't want to deal with your bullshit.
That's fine.
But the last thing that he does say is that he hung out around those docks
Okay.
from time to time. because that's where he got picked up by the police.
Okay.
And that was about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So again, you sort of walk down and start at the docks, move down to the train, move down to the Kane Industrial, and then the docks seem like a viable
Yeah. Okay.
source.
I'm gonna head back to the warehouse, to our warehouse after this.
To your warehouse,
Mhm.
not heading back. Okay. So, you head back to your warehouse. And at this point, all of you are back in the warehouse. Unless you want to do anything else on the way home.
I kind of wanted to get these assessed at Esme's, the gems.
Oh, you want to stop at the speakeasy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In your gown? In your
Why not?
brunch gown?
Why not? Yeah.
Sure. You walk in. You walk into the.
Quick clarification first.
Yep.
Leo is the meatloaf guy, right?
That's correct.
Perfect.
Leo is also in the chips market. The chip market. You go down there. It is a handful of diamonds. How many diamonds do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I have this ring.
7 and that ring.
Mhm.
Okay. If you'd like to trade them all in, they will be appraised. And how they are appraised when you get little things like this is you get to roll as many d20s as items,
Okay.
and that's how many gold they're worth. So 8 is the answer. Then you just put them right in the middle.
Damn, that could be pretty.
So
Yeah. So 8 d20 rolls.
8 d20 as they. So this is just luck of the draw.
15.
Okay, 15. We'll do it at the end. So 15.
15.
So 30.
Hey.
I got you on the math.
20.
Wow, this is really
That's
easy.
a nat
50.
20.
2.
52.
5.
57.
11.
68.
15.
Starting to lose me.
83.
83? Yeah.
One more.
One more.
Mm-hmm.
11.
94.
94.
God damn.
So,
Not bad.
you get 94 gold.
Okay.
Plus the whatever else you got. Holy shit.
2,
Damn.
3,
Oh, wait, I had one more.
7.
I have one more.
Put in 8, 9.
7.
101. Damn.
Do I owe you 100 from the whip?
99.
Okay.
Do you want me to hand?
Hand 99 to her.
Here's.
I'd rather pay it off now. Plus,
I-
I got other stuff already from the
I
thing.
think this is 100.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. And this you said wasn't mundane. Is this just
That's
this like a magic item that can be identified?
You would assume so.
Okay, I'll just hold on to it, and once we get back, I'll ask about it.
Okay. Anything else on the way home?
Yeah, I want to stop at like a local bookstore.
Okay.
And, like, you know how some of the cities have like those really witchy ones that sell like candles? If I can find one like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm just looking for like a book on local folklore. If I can find one.
Yeah, you can find one. I'll say that is 2 gold.
Okay. And then I just want to get some like tapered candles and candle holders for those.
Sure. Are they? They're not components to anything. Are
No,
they?
just
Okay, so,
regular.
I would say a box of candles that'll just be like you have candles forever in the warehouse is a gold.
Okay.
Like little candles.
Okay. I have a platinum.
Sure.
So I need 7
Need
back.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Cool.
There you go. All right. And anything on the way home for you as you get to the warehouse? Okay, so they all get home first. I'd say you're first, then the 2 of you, And then
I guess I'll grab some like dinner, I guess, for everybody.
Okay.
I assume they'll be back before
What are you
I
grabbing?
am,
Meat
so-
logs from Leo's?
Something better. I'm not eating that shit.
Okay.
Rich people.
What are you thinking then? What's good food to Isaac? Bangers and mash.
No, just something kind of like, I guess like, still like meaty and hearty, but not meat log shit. Like better quality. Like decent, like, you know.
Yeah, what is it?
I don't fucking know.
Any food that you like in your life? You gotta make
Like a
decision.
stew or something?
Like
You
a
like stew?
like a smorgasbord of just like different things people can try. I guess like a sampler platter.
You're really trying to get out of this.
I
I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you.
You got
I
more
don't-
general.
I'm not gonna let you. You're gonna get more specific. What? It doesn't have to be. It could be fucking Taco Bell. I don't care.
Fuck it.
Um,
I guess we'll get something like, kind of like when we get that like the barbecue from Famous Days with like the sausage and like the spicy
Okay,
sausages. or
so you
something
go
like
to
that, yeah.
you go to the place that smells meatiest.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So as you go down, you go out of the chip markets and head down to the warehouse. So you're on the east side, and there is a place not far from the warehouses, and not far from where you guys fought. What's his name? Big Jim.
Big Jam.
Not far from there. There is a place that is basically, it's got what looks to be like a dumpster that's been converted into a barbecue pit. And it is manned by 2 hob folk, one of which is very portly, one of which is very, very thin. And they are making essentially pit barbecue. And you get some. If it's enough for everybody, we'll say that this is.
So like a 5-person family meal, because that's basically.
Yeah. We'll say if you want to spend the money,
Mm-hmm.
we'll call this second level food.
Okay.
If you want to spend
Sure.
that, and so that is,
What is
2
second
gold
level?
per person.
I believe it's 2 gold per person as well. Let's double check it.
Well, don't worry about.
Right, obviously you're not considered. So, it'll be.
So you gotta pay for the 5-person. That's 10 gold for platinum. Get an extra in case you want more than what we get.
Yeah, it's 2 gold. Yeah, 2 silver, 2 gold, 10 gold.
I've honestly been doing pretty good on money this campaign.
So if I just throw a platy in,
Yeah.
is that good?
Yeah.
Like,
Born on
platy.
3rd base.
So all of you will have the benefits of good food,
Which is green.
You have all spent good food. You don't have to have
Speaking
them.
of which, can I shout out
Oh.
Randy?
Randy
real
made
quick?
these
did
cool
make
things because
Yeah.
we always forget we have the bonus.
So they're like
Skill check?
This one says skill check,
Green
and then this
for
is
green
for
rations.
the fancy food, and it's to remind you that you have a saving throw advantage.
I'm fine if you want to
Yeah.
work that in. I don't know.
yeah, it's
Whatever's
just
easier
like
for you.
green food, gold food.
Yeah.
What we get.
Sure.
It's cool.
Awesome. Down. That's great. So, you do that. Isaac comes in with this feast. Olana is still there and is hanging out, so you
That
bought
works.
enough for her too.
Yeah.
You don't have to eat anyway. Happy to enjoy some more of that as she is drunk and sort of doing that thing where she sort of just sits there like
Mood.
and just like zones out. While you guys talk about whatever you want to talk about, you went back, share information, whatever you want to do. Is there anything you guys want to do?
I'm gonna ask if you can identify this, and I'll give
Oh.
the key.
Okay, you do identify it. We don't have to go
Yeah.
through it. You take some time as you like sort of get the barbecue sauce off, and you identify it. It is a skeleton key.
Wait, does that mean it can open anything?
One time only, as long as it's not a magical lock, it will open one door, and
Ooh,
then it will break.
Okay. That's helpful.
Mm-hmm. If it's magical, it won't work.
Okay.
And then you identify the band, and it does that. If you want to tell them what it does.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you just want to. I'm assuming you want to keep it for yourself.
Yeah,
but,
I'm gonna
you earned
tune
it.
to that as well.
Sure.
It's a contingency band. As part of a long rest, you can soak the band in one potion of your choice. Upon hitting 0 health, it automatically uses the potion.
Yep.
Which is very cool.
But you do have to use the potion, so it's not like you get a free potion.
Yeah.
So
I get it. It's
Yeah.
just that
Does
it
that stay charged as long as you charged it?
Oh wow.
very cool. I don't have any potions on me right now.
you could use any potion you like, but like a potion of haste isn't
do
going to
have
help when you
this.
die. So consider that. That's true. You could just put.
When you die, it automatically gets you high on opium.
So you die peacefully.
Honestly,
It's not, yeah,
True.
okay. It's the
Okay.
DNR band now.
So, you have this information from your various locations. You have this delicious food and smorgasbord. Is there anything you'd like to follow up on or talk about with each other?
Good for now.
Okay.
Oh, actually, are we gonna go and scope out? I should talk with my accent. Are we going to go and scout out that warehouse? Are we doing that? I guess we never fully discussed. Are we doing the?
Olana sits there and goes, warehouse.
We have a job opportunity, which, well, you're drunk anyway. You won't share this with anyone. You wouldn't even if you were sober.
Of course not.
Eh,
If you want me not to talk about something, I will not.
something from, Kane has that new product coming out.
Oh, yeah.
We have been tasked with perhaps taking a truck of it and getting it to
Oh,
someone
shit.
who's interested. Yes.
That's
So-
like big fucking serious business.
Yes.
So if we are to
Not going to be easy.
Yes. Chills. I'm impressed to know you were working on such a level so far.
things have been going very quickly for us.
Well, that is very good.
If we are planning, I think scoping out the place perhaps would be a good first step
When
to
are
see
you
what
doing that?
whenever the
The Royals.
the royals arrive, basically the silvers will be
I will
busy.
be busy during that time. I have, well, it's a big to-do. I have to go with the lieutenant governor's assistant.
well, I hope you have an enjoyable time.
I hope I do too. He's not so bad, you know? He likes to cry, and it's like a lot of energy to get him there. You know? So, it happens. So, you do have time, if you'd like. If you'd like to head back out, you can.
I was gonna wait for it to get darker.
Yeah. You can wait till it gets darker.
Put the needle in the fucking butt.
You wait till it gets darker to leave
Well-
by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna maybe
Yeah, go
talk
ahead.
to you before you left,
Yeah.
but
No.
weird question out of the blue. While we're sitting there, just brother, do you think that I should try to get married?
Oh, that is a weird question.
Why? Why?
I mean, I was supposed to, and then, you know,
But do you want to? That's what matters. Not that you were supposed to. It wasn't really a choice.
I mean, had I done it, I could have possibly inherited a lot of his wealth,
That's true.
but also, I mean, right now I'm no one.
Kind of all are, aren't we? It's the whole point of running away.
Would being someone with someone you do not even like be better than being no one with people you do like your brother? Why would you want to imprison yourself in such a life? That sounds terrible.
Why do you think it's prison?
I just cannot imagine you would be happy with someone like that. I do not know him personally, but I imagine he's kind of a stuffed suit type. You seem very like, ooh, look, shiny thing, I want to touch it. And I don't think he would vibe with that.
Well, it's not really about being happy.
I would argue without that, what is the point of everything else?
It depends on where you get your happiness from. Do you get your happiness from interpersonal connections and deep conversations?
Not
Or
really.
from stuff? Stuff is pretty good.
But it is not everything.
It is not everything. She picks up what you're putting down. It isn't everything. But it's not too bad.
Oh.
He doesn't
That's
know what
good.
I'm talking about.
Are you reading something specific?
No, just looking over some of my notes from today.
You've been very engrossed with work lately.
Well, I was working on getting some information for the well, I was writing a little bit about the orphanage that we went to. But I think I may have found a lead on the Black Paragon today, so I was just looking over that.
Really? What did you find?
There was a book published. It's called "On the Origin of Paragons" by a Dr. Figman Shine. I don't know anything about it. It's banned in the country.
Of course it is.
Yeah, they're afraid of magic. But I think maybe we could talk to Mr. Rossi about smuggling a copy in.
This would not be a bad idea. I know we also, at some point, will probably have to leave for a variety of other reasons, so
Yeah.
if we
But I
cannot
think-
do that,
Yeah.
we'll have to find it. It is very wonderful that you found this. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very curious myself.
When you look at the words that you wrote down, all the letters are so you wait until it's dark and the nice music goes away.
Real quick, you know what
Yeah.
happens to have Tums down here, do you?
Mm-mm.
Tom's down here?
I thought not, but I just had to ask.
No, I think they're upstairs.
Okay. I'll get them after the game.
Isaac.
Don't look at me like that.
You head down and you follow the information to where it takes you. The dock area. There is something about this place that is somehow attracting the fates of these three children, and it all connects here. But this is where, from all accounts, the cops and Stipe lost the trail. You are at the docks. There are some, what you assume are like teenage, young adult people down at the docks. They're sort of in this, you could see the fire from the barrel burning, and you can hear sort of like a far away like beer bottle break as you see some people sitting on top of that sort of overpass and like throwing beer bottles down. But they seem like a group, a handful of kids and young adults. Is that where you want to go, or did you want to look around?
Look around.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Oh, fuck yeah. 28.
Okay. You spend some time just in the shadows, far enough away where they're not going to notice, and you observe. Every once in a while, someone walks down the docks, talks to one of the kids, and the kids toss down a beer bottle that is caught, and then that person walks away, drops something in the trash can. 5 minutes later, one of the kids on the ground level goes to the trash can and walks back to the barrel fire. That process happens about 5 times in the span of about an hour. Clearly a drug deal situation. They have drugs up top, the people at the bottom get the money, they toss it in beer bottles, they pick it up. A little bit more time goes by, and with a 28, I'm going to say you had the diligence to wait. You don't know a lot about drug deals. You don't come from this world. But you have a lot of patience. You sort of find yourself just ting, 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 ting on the side of the cylinder as you sort of click open the case and click it back, click it open, click it back, slide it into your breast pocket. One of the kids, you don't know which one, it's far enough away and they're backlit by the fire. It's a bigger one, maybe not a kid, maybe a man, walks and leaves your sight, walking down the road a little bit. You follow. You stay, and with a 28, I'm assuming you're not going to get caught. You relax. You peer around the edge, and he knocks on the front of a dilapidated, boarded up building that says the Riverside Pub on it. Seems to have been out of business for maybe a decade. It's covered in graffiti and all other forms of defacement. Like clearly the windows upstairs have been smashed out, and are patched with wood. The door doesn't seem to provide resistance to this person who just sort of knocks as a warning. And with a 28, you catch the cadence of the knock. It's like a specific sort of like beat, 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 and then walks in. A little bit of time goes by, the person walks out. You duck behind. They walk past you and back down toward the barrel. And you're alone at sort of an alley. If you were to walk out and around to the front, you'd be in front of this place.
Sure.
Okay. Walk out in front, and you can see the door to this building doesn't have a lock. It's hanging loosely on hinges, and there's sound from within, like people talking and maybe some music. What do you want to do?
So there's no lock on the door, right?
No.
Can I, you know how like, I kind of just want to like lean around the corner, like hide around the corner a bit and use my cane to just like barely open the door
Okay, so you sort of
and see if I can
push
get
it. Go ahead
little
and
bit of
roll a
some-
stealth check.
Well, that's not too bad. 12.
12, okay. So you sort of peer in. Go and roll a perception check.
Isn't that 20? So 21.
Okay.
Jesus.
You look around, and it's definitely a bar. You can hear the sound of pool cue hitting and sort of breaking apart, and someone sort of making fun of the person. You hear music on the inside. Some kind of I suppose, like folksy, but like there seems to be an electric. It's essentially rock, because these are bad boys, okay? And you peer inside and you see that there are two just normal-looking fellas that are playing the game of pool. They look young adult, again, like 18, 19, somewhere in there. But behind them, sitting on this bar, which, again, this bar hasn't served people in a long time. They have drinks, but this bar isn't stocked. This is a place to hang out. It's dilapidated. It's somewhere they're squatting. Maybe not long term, but definitely they use it as their base of operations for this little thing. And you see next to, or I guess sitting on the bar, you see a hefty, like 8 foot tall, maybe, crocodilian. A particularly large person, but you hear one of them say, "Hey, Tugo, check out this shot!" And then you hear, "Ting!" And then sort of, and the balls spreading out over the billiards board. And the crocodilian, who is wearing essentially like a leather jacket, a white t-shirt, just jeans, black boots, for all intents and purposes a greaser, but like Croc, looks over towards him and says, "Tugo doesn't give a shit about that." He doesn't give a shit, okay? And you could tell that, like, the guys are like, "Fuck, man," and they break it again. And there's a little box next to Tugo that the lid is open of, and inside are dozens of little white packets. What do you want to do? They don't seem to have noticed you.
Okay. I guess I'll wait for a couple more minutes and see if anything changes.
Are you hoping that someone leaves, or if people come in, or just seeing if there's
Both.
anybody else inside there?
Both, and then waiting to see if there's someone else
Okay,
that
so
I
you're,
can't
so you're hiding
see
like
from
across
my...
the street. And
Yeah,
sort
I
of in
can't
dark.
see from my vantage point.
Sure.
So.
Let's see.
What the fuck are you getting into?
Okay. The dice say that one of them leaves. One of the guys that was playing pool, the one that loses, ends up going, "Wow, fuck," and then he, "All right, boys, I'll see you tomorrow." And then Tugo goes, "Tugo will see you tomorrow before you see him." Okay, and then he just heads out and he leaves.
Okay.
The other one's still in there.
I'll give it a good amount of time and then knock on the door.
Okay. You knock on the door in the cadence. And then you just open the door.
Mm-hmm.
There's feet and the cane. You walk forward, and there's a look on both their faces like, "Who the fuck is this?"
I hope not.
Tugo looks at you. "Yeah." As he shuts the case, and you hear a lock.
The sign outside said it was a pub. I was looking for a drink.
"We're closed."
Doesn't look closed. The door was unlocked.
He sort of gets off the bar and he goes, "Tugo said we're closed."
Who's that?
"Me.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. My name's Isaac.
Nice to meet you. The fuck do you want?"
Well,
As the guy next to him grabs a pool stick and is like, sort of like On the other side, the pool table is the next thing next to you, I guess, like 5 feet away from you. And then beyond the pool table, putting it between you and him, the guy at the pool stick is sort of moving around it just in case he needs to get behind you for any. He's not doing it like super fast, and he's not doing it so much that he's going to make you uncomfortable, but he doesn't know who the fuck you are, and he's being a little quiet, letting Tugo take care of this. As Tugo very confidently steps about 10 feet from you. And you look up at him. Isaac.
Yeah.
Welcome. Now fuck off.
Well, you see, I've heard that there's been some missing kids lately around here. Not too happy about that.
The one with the pool table where the pool cue looks over to Tugo.
Are you
And Tugo looks down at you and goes, "You fucking cop."
No. God, no. No.
They look at each other confused.
Never be a cop. Just like children, really?
Freezing?
Okay. They both still look at you confused.
You children to drugs, that's wild.
Who the fuck do you think you are? A little cripple?
Oh, I was waiting for
He
that.
walks up to you and he steps about 5 feet from you and he flicks the cane out of your hand and goes ting, 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 onto the ground. You just sort of like, you put the weight on your left knee and you sort of like, you give just the slightest wince.
Oh. Guess we get to find out then, don't we? I just do it.
There is a moment where he sees you reach into the breast pocket of your suit.
Mm-hmm.
And he assumes there's going to be like a gun. But you pull out a syringe. And he goes like this. Not like, don't hurt me, but like, the fuck? He's not worried at all about that. Can't pierce his fucking crocodilian skin. It's like a little needle or whatever. And where do you inject it?
Oh, it's think about this. It's gonna be right here.
Okay.
Right into the side of the neck.
He just watches you go. I'm gonna need you to roll initiative.
Oh my fucking god. What is going on?
13?
13.
Why did you go pick a fight with drug dealers while we aren't there? Your fucking shit better work, I swear to God, if you die.
We had no idea that was our last supper.
So,
Didn't even say bye to his sister.
It's fine.
he didn't
You
even
don't have
say
to worry about
goodbye to his sister.
It's totally okay. I
It's
promise.
totally okay.
Bro, if you fucking die.
I'm not dying.
There is...
Famous last words right there.
There's a moment, and you turn, and you see on the face of the one with the pool stick confusion. And he looks at you, and he's gonna run out from the back, and he tries to swing at you with the pool stick, and he goes like this, and it goes, and it just breaks ding, 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 onto the floor, and he holds the stick, and he fucking runs away based on that roll, and he fucking, would you like to take an opportunity attack as he runs away using your reaction?
No.
He runs away,
I'm just gonna let him run.
and that's his turn. It's your turn.
Okay.
Tugo is 10 feet away from you.
I'm gonna
You
walk.
step up, and are you trying to make attacks?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and make an attack.
That is 17 to hit.
17 hits.
How are you striking?
8 damage.
8. Okay.
You just punch him?
As you Tugo sees from his perspective a shocking sight. He goes into fight or flight, taking 8 damage. Crack! As he stumbles. He goes and he pushes off of the pool table and it goes across the ground. And he swings out with a claw, and then he's going to try to bite you. His claw actually hits.
That's it? What's the
it
hit?
does. It's a
Okay.
natural 16. Hits you for 6.
Okay.
6. Actually, it's 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to try to bite you. Does a 16 hit?
It might not, because I can roll a dicey. It's a glancing blow.
A glancing blow
Got me right to a 16.
with a bite.
It's
You take 4 total on that. So
it's double head, right? Because it's a glancing blow,
oh, you're right. 2.
2 damage.
2.
Okay.
As he bites down and you're able to get your hands in there, and most of it's taken to your hands as you push him off like this, and then he's going to turn and run towards behind the bar. You do get an opportunity attack here.
Yeah,
Would you like to take
absolutely.
it? Okay. Would you like to just hit him, or are you trying to do something else?
Pulling him back.
You're gonna pull him back, keep him from that.
Mhm.
Okay, so roll, it's more of an athletics
That's
check
fine.
then.
Are you just beating the shit out of this man?
Fuck.
What the fuck, bro?
23.
Easily, he turns, and this hulk of a man is stopped as you grab not the shirt, not an arm, you grab the back of his head, and he goes. He's going to try to use his action to get out of this.
20.
Yeah, he rolled natural 2. He can't get out of this, and he's like, you go ahead and roll an attack.
He's morbid all over this guy.
13.
Yeah, he's not wearing armor. You take his head and you go and slam him into the billiard table,
Is this just
and-
little Isaac doing this?
and it cracks. Not all the way, it doesn't break in half, but there's like a decent crack as you so roll damage and add an extra d4
Okay.
from your
It's
Isaac stuff.
6.
with the d4.
Yeah, I
6
rolled a
total.
1 and a
Oh shit.
2.
Okay. Not too shabby. All right. He is bloodied, as his face, and you see several of the teeth, his crocodilian teeth, break out of the bottom of his right side of his jaw. As he gets up and he turns, and he's going to try to he's going to disengage with you. Use a disengage action to get away from you. Make an athletics check to get over the bar. Easy enough. And gets behind the bar, and with his free action is going to be able to grab something. You don't know what he grabbed yet. It's your turn now. That was his
Okay.
action. So I'm assuming you jump over the fucking bar. Go ahead and
Yep.
make me an athletics check.
Oh Jesus fucking! It's 21. I keep rolling these so
Great,
fucking high.
yeah.
27.
As you go over it fast, what do you want to do?
As I'm going over, I'm just gonna take an attack.
You attack midair as you jump over this. Go ahead.
I keep fucking missing that.
I
thing.
want to know how you're doing
Uh,
it.
12.
12 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
That is just over his AC of 11.
Okay.
It was just his natural armor and clothing.
9. I rolled max damage.
9?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Fuck. Okay. So with that, there's this moment where reaches under the bar and goes to grab something. By the time he gets up here to pull it around and point it at you, you're already here. You grab his face and just up and in, and you snap the crocodilian like snout upward
Bro.
as he holds in his hand essentially a wand.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like this. It's like a short, maybe like 8-inch long, like knotted. It's almost like a pretentious one. It's got like a little knot, and like a just almost like a craggly finger of wood as he. Dead?
Man, you killed a whole ass crocodile, and I can't even eat it.
I guess,
You stand there for a moment. You can feel the potency wearing away as the effect slowly comes to an end.
gonna...
You look around. Roll an investigation check. That was fast.
Oh, God,
There's other
it's
stuff you could do.
28. I got a 6 of 15 and it's plus 7.
28. Okay. So, the first thing you find is that wand. It is clearly magical.
Pocketing that. I'm pocketing the thing of drugs.
You do get the entire thing of drugs. I need everybody to roll a d20. That's how many packets of moon dust you have in there.
6. So you know where the
17?
10.
Can you tell me where the tubs are? Sorry, I'm gonna
39.
33.
if
You
you
got a
have
six?
any.
Mike?
Okay, look, in the cabinet, like right when you go up the stairs, the cabinet that's like right there on the left, look up there. If not, table in the living room? Those are the only two places.
If you don't have it, that's fine, right?
Don't die.
It's 39.
39. You find 39 packets of moon dust. In one of your packets,
Just
you
got
know
a
what
lot
moon
of
dust
drugs
does. With a 28,
I built myself.
you
for
notice this is crazy. You notice as you step behind the bar, there's like a mat that's just been there forever, but there's like a whoop, and you move it.
Secret.
There's a trap door. You pull the trap door up. And below the trap door is haunting silence. Deeper silence than you've ever
Can I take a
experienced. Take
whiff?
a whiff. Smells like a cellar.
Okay. Well, go down. Down I go.
You go.
Jesus Christ, you're gonna...
You go down into the secret cellar. Did you find any? Okay, there they are.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So you step on this secret cellar, you open the door, there's silence in there, you start climbing down.
Mm-hmm.
You climb down into the cellar. Your ears, as you pass the threshold, are useless. You can't even hear yourself breathe or heartbeat. This is magical silence. You feel the aura of it as you pass through it. With a 28, it can't hide anything from you.
He's too good.
This room is a cellar. It used to be where they held, like, beer to keep it cool and stuff like that. That has all been cleared out. On the walls of this cellar are locking clamps. And in the corner, on a table, you see 4 pairs of discarded manacles. You see a ring of keys above that, probably to the manacles. They don't seem big enough for a door. They're all small, sort of. And in the back of this room is pure darkness. Again, likely a spell. But there is light down here, a torch that you can light, and you do so when it lights it up. Doesn't pierce through that darkness.
I mean, I'm going through.
Okay, so you walk towards the darkness and roll perception check with disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm not good at these anyways. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. 5?
Okay, you would hear boom, but it's silent down here. So instead you just feel impacting against cold metal on your forehead. You take 1 bludgeoning damage as you right in the fucking head. There's no worse feeling than banging your head on something. Well, maybe your toe. But you feel pretty quickly metal bars.
Gonna start feeling around.
You feel around, and you eventually feel that there's a chain that comes around the bars, and it locks on the other side. It's not locked from this side. It's locked from there, as if someone from that way unlocks it.
When I came, I'm gonna start heading back up.
Okay.
When I came down, did I get like a kind of a direction the trapdoor head like led, like a direction like north, south, east,
Oh,
west?
west.
Okay, so it went west. Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do in this place?
Did I search the crocodile body to see if he had anything on him and for like information or anything?
Yeah, sure. He has... How many did you find? Packets?
39.
39. Okay. Find quite a bit of gold.
Damn, we just made bank today, huh?
Damn, I should have killed someone today too.
Well, you know, just the casual run out, kill somebody.
It's all in gold.
It's a living.
Okay. I'm sure you'll be fine.
We have big enough coin purses.
True. I'm scared to throw it.
Oh, you're good. That's a fucking hefty one.
Woohoo! I heard that.
Now, that is money that he definitely owed his supplier. You don't give a fuck. And you find just a lot. A lot of gold from all the sales tonight. You leave just as the guy with the pool stick comes back with the other guy that left, and they like walk in. One of them has a gun, and they walk in,
Oh no.
and you're long gone. But they see Tugo, and you make your way back into the darkness, into the city.
You're a psychopath.
Nah.
So, I guess for all intents and purposes, unless anybody else needs to do anything else, that is the end of the session. You'll have very
He
different
finally
things you
levels
wanna
up, and he does it away from us.
Yeah.
And I still don't know what to do. Okay, I have a question, but I don't want to ask it on stream.
Okay. So,
I think I know what your question's gonna be.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, next time we convene, you'll be with this information that you had. And you can talk about that if you want, apply it to whatever your future plans on. But if you're taking the Gill job to steal one of the Kane trucks, that's the next thing on your list.
Yeah.
Or you guys can always bail out of that job and go check out the Emperor and the royal family arrive. You could head to one of the parties. Could work. It's up to you. You guys made some fucking bank today on accident. Okay. Well, love your faces. This was an interesting downtime.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, we'll be back next Thursday for more of the good stuff. And we'll get Hannah some Pepsid. She looks uncomfortable.
Oh, I am in so much pain. You have no idea.
Why would you have heartburn?
It's like this is the worst heartburn I've ever had. This
In your life?
yeah, this is really
Right
bad.
now?
Yeah. Am I
Ooh,
dying?
I should vamp for time.
You
and
should end the stream.
make you uncomfortable for longer. I don't have anything else for you.
No, it's
But we
can-
could get some milks.
Oh my
Love your
God.
faces!